Time Warner Cable Sports presents high school football. Tonight from Pete Cooper Stadium at Keyes Field in Fairfield, it's a Pine Tree Conference Class A matchup between the Lawrence Bulldogs and the Edward Little Red Eddies. Good evening and welcome to Keyes Field, Pete Cooper Stadium here in Fairfield. Rob Kennedy and Mike Estrada. Lawrence Bulldogs looking to take a step forward. It's been a couple of steps back the last few years. 2006 state champions, Class A finalists the year after, Class A semifinalists last year. They want to start moving forward again this season and started off very well last week.
Yeah, it certainly did. They scored on 5 of their first 13 plays in the game and ran over a Brewer team. Tonight, I got an Edward Little team that is a little bit better, but very well. They're hurting, I should say, not feeling very well.
They also have a lot of players who are new, an inexperienced team. They lost Cody Goddard, Shane Cirillo, Dylan Terrio, Buddy Foss. Great players on that team that went to the semifinals of the state, the Class A East Finals. Hard to replace that. I think EL's a team that's probably going to get better as the season goes on, but this is a tough place, the PTC, especially here in Lawrence, to have some growing pains.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that they were going to be the PTC champion last year, but Skowhegan went down and upset them on their field. They want something to prove this year. They don't quite have the personnel, and if you look over in their sideline, it's like the walking wounded over there, as I mentioned. They almost have like a MASH bus to get them over here for this game tonight.
They'll have to bring their best effort at Lawrence. Lawrence does not lose often here at this field. It's been since 2005 that Lawrence has lost a regular season contest here in Class A. They hope to keep that streak going tonight. Mike and I are heading upstairs. We'll have the kickoff right after this. It's Lawrence and Edward Little on Time Warner Cable Sports.
When Time Warner Cable is in the neighborhood, it turns every house into the home of free HD. See, unlike satellite, when you get digital cable, you can also get HD programming at no additional cost. In fact, you may find it hard to believe that this many of your favorite HD shows, sports, and movies can fit under one roof.
Time Warner Cable has digital video packages starting as low as $29.95 per month.
Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Edward Little set to receive. Joshua Dearborn kicks off. That'll be in the arms of Fred Reed, the up man. Reed will cut back to the 35 to the 40-yard line where he is met by the Lawrence Bulldogs. Ball looks like it had popped loose, but it hadn't. Reed still has. He's just driven back by a pile of Bulldog players. But the Red Eddies have decent field position to start this contest.
Yeah, very good field position. Looks like they're on the 39-yard line. Not a very deep kick for Lawrence at all. Nice night for football, but remarkably, not a full house yet, Rob Kennedy.
Now, Lawrence, last time I was here playing Waterville, had a lot of people arrive late, so that might be the case tonight. Josh DeLong at quarterback. He's under center, the second game in a row for the junior. Had a rough start against Brunswick last week against the Dragons, but really settled down later in the contest. Hoping to avoid those jitters here tonight. Brandon Vi right behind him. Handoff does go to Vi up the middle. He doesn't go anyplace, though. Right into the heart of that Lawrence defense. Jeff Hutchinson, Tyler McKean, Jesse Harrison all right there. Vi may be back to the line of scrimmage, but not much.
You see number 7, Tevin Colin in the backfield. He'll be at a wingback position. He was the projected starting quarterback, but had a problem with his rotator cuff and his throwing arm, so he will not be seeing action at quarterback tonight.
One man split wide. That's Jimmy Foss to the far side. 3 in the backfield. You see Colin right there. Hand off again to Vi. A little more room that time. He cuts up to the 44, 45-yard line before being brought down. Good blocking and a good push there by the Edward Little offensive line.
Well, Lawrence the last couple of years has prided itself on its very speedy and good coverage defense. 2 years ago, they had probably the best defensive team seen around here in many, many years. Let off a little bit last year, but still enough of those good, fast players on the wings especially.
3rd and 5 coming up. 2 in the backfield once again for the Eddies. Big third down conversion attempt here for Edward Little on Lawrence's home field. Long count for DeLong. Bubbled snap. It's on the ground. Looks like the Eddies have fallen on it, but that will bring up a 4th down in a punting situation. Simply the snap not handled by DeLong. Not sure if the center ever got out of his hands.
Yeah, unless they got a good 6 or 7 yards out of that, they might have been thinking about a 4th down, but they're in 4th down territory anyway. Here it is again, and it was a fumbled snap, and the Eddies were lucky to get that. The right guard looks like he gathered it in.
The dangerous Christian Powers back to receive with Joshua Dearborn. Actually scratched that. It's Nate Letourneau, number 25. They're standing around the Lawrence 20. Kick in the air, and it's not going to reach Powers. It's going to take a bounce for Lawrence. Actually back the other way for Edward Little, and falling on that at the 27-yard line is number 87 for the Red 80s. Actually 67 for the Red 80s, Billy Gagnon. And Lawrence will start things at the 27-yard line. Troy Hill, the referee tonight. Mike Dorval, Chris Perry, Jack Harrell, Charlie Whitaker, and Joe Cosgrove, as he often seems to be in the air on the clock. Bobby Belanger at quarterback for the Lawrence Bulldogs. Devin Sherman injured last week against Brewer, but Bobby Belanger gets plenty of snaps. 3 in the backfield, ball at the 27-yard line. Handoff's going to come near side. It's Powers. He's going to cut to the outside. Look at that speed. 40-yard line, down to the 45 to the 50. Colin pushes him out of bounds, but he has broken through into Edward Little territory. You see the explosive speed of Christian Powers right there.
24 yards, hardly touches it, got around the right end. Had good lead blocking, and then got ahead of his blockers, and all the rest of it on his own. 24-yard gain.
If you don't get him between the tackles, if he gets outside, he is very, very difficult to stop.
Yeah, he should be one of the premier runners in the Pine Tree Conference this year. A lot of experience last year.
106 yards last week against Brewer, 8 carries, 5 ended up in the end zone. He's out there again. Looks like we have a timeout being called here. The referee blows the whistle, and an equipment problem for Powers. He's going to head off the field, and Curtis Dow will come on to replace him. So he'll get his equipment looked at. Looks like a helmet issue.
Yeah, chin strap. It looked like it broke. Yeah, he's got a piece of it in his hand.
So Dow now in the ball game. Belanger at the 47-yard line. The handoff goes to Dow. Actually scratched that. It goes to 31 for the Bulldogs. Derek Giggy. Giggy, the fullback in the backfield, gets ahead for a couple of yards. 2nd and 8 upcoming.
Beautiful night for football. Temperature right around, got to be 63 degrees, 64, something like that.
Thought it was going to be sweatshirt weather here tonight, but not really. Maybe later. A little rain in the forecast, but it's supposed to hold off till after the contest.
Yeah, not be much for games that are going to be played at this airing tomorrow.
2nd down and 8 upcoming. 2 men spread wide for the Bulldogs. Belanger with the ball at the 46-yard line. Back, quick pass out in the flat to Powers. He catches it down by the ankles, and a good tackle by Colin coming up to stop him for a loss, and that's the way you have to hit Christian Powers. Don't let him get acceleration.
That's exactly right, and a great play by Colin to come up and close in on that end. Here it is again. He had to go down a little bit to make the catch, but Colin right there to take him by the legs. Excellent tackle.
A big play here for the Eddies defense. 3rd down and 10. The ball at the 47-yard line, perhaps not 4-down territory if you can keep it to a 4th and long. The Eddies with a stop here might get the ball back. Bulldogs break the huddle. Split wide to the near side, Joshua Dearborn. 4 men in the backfield, possible misdirection coming up here. We'll see. Back to pass Belanger. He's looking for Dearborn, who has a step, and it is off his hands. He had beaten Fred Reed, the cornerback. The pass off the hands of the receiver. Dearborn just missed taking that to the end zone.
Here it is again. Fly pattern down the right side. He has him the entire way, just about 2 feet too long, and almost a nice catch.
He had his arms stretched out pretty much as far as he could, the receiver, Joshua Dearborn. And he's the man back to punt, standing at his 40-yard line. Colin back to receive for the Eddies. He backs up, his heels around his own 10. And there's a nice punt. But it's going to take a bounce for the Eddies back toward the 20-yard line, and that's where it's going to be fielded down by the Bulldogs. So the Eddies do their job. They make the stop, and they recover and get the football back.
Well, a lot of coaches will be screaming on that play because they want the runner back to come up and catch that ball and get a little momentum going upfield. But it's early in the year. You haven't seen a whole lot of punts, so you play it safely.
And Colin, I think, backing up as well.
Yeah.
Punt was kicked, but have had to come in and make a shoe-top catch. I think better to let that one bounce.
We were talking about Mike Savitsky before the game, and that's one of the things he always has his backs to across the river at Winslow High School is come up and make the catch on that punt.
Along with Vi and Colin in the backfield, ball at the 20-yard line. And this is Colin right up the middle trying to go outside, and there's no room there, just blue jerseys to push him backwards, and a flag coming in at the end of the play. The Lawrence fans on this side think it's going to go against the Eddies. We'll see. See if we can see it here. This is a run by Vi. Going to the outside with absolutely no room.
They got aiding the running back here? What do we got? Face mask against Lawrence.
Yeah. So the Lawrence faithful incorrect, a 5-yard face mask penalty coming in. And usually when it's thrown at the end, it's either an illegal block, but there wasn't much blocking going on at the time of that flag.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be something.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask on the defense.
And, of course, there is no incidental face mask anymore. It's all
right.
15 yards and at all levels. And I think that's the right way to go.
Certainly teach the players to get the hands off the face mask. I'd forgotten they'd gone that way in high school football. So 15-yard personal foul will bring the ball up to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eddies. Same backfield formation. Back to pass. Here's DeLong rolling pass. Knocked down, almost intercepted there. Creeping over to knock it away, the cornerback, Dow.
First attempt by DeLong. Here's the look at it again. It's got a good rollout and a good look downfield and threw it into traffic. That would have been a great catch.
2nd down upcoming here. We mentioned DeLong had a couple of picks in the first half last week, but found himself after that. You have to get that first game under your belt. 2nd and 10 for the Eddies. No score here in the contest. Quick handoff to Vi up the middle. Nope. He is stopped at the line of scrimmage, dragged down, number 59 on the play for the Lawrence Bulldogs, and that's Matt Rowe.
Brandon Vi, 4 carries, total of 8 yards. Tyler McKee, number 70 in the center of that defense, is the defensive tackle and the offensive center. He literally is right in the middle of things, and he's a big guy, 6'2", 240 pounds, number 70.
Just so difficult to run the ball up the middle against the Lawrence Bulldogs. A 3rd and 10 coming here. 7:15 to go first quarter, no score from Fairfield. Bulldogs hosting the Edward Little Red Eddies, and a false start there. Jumping the gun. The ends, Ryan Arnold on the Edward Little side, and that'll cost him 5. And it makes a tough job even harder.
And what really makes this hard early in the year is
Dead ball, false start, offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
is the injuries. They started the year with a good group of seniors, but so many have been hurt in preparation for this season. So many were hurt last week, and now you're into the 2nd week. It's still a whole bunch of injuries. It's hard to get the repetition that you need with your best players.
A 3rd and 15 coming here. DeLong, an obvious passing situation in the shotgun. Vi directly to his left. Trips to the right side. And the handoff to Vi. Vi going back the left side. Knocked down. Actually went back the right side. Didn't go anyplace, though, up to the 30-yard line. And the Bulldogs sniffed that out very quickly. 4th down upcoming as the Eddies went backwards.
Yeah, they were not fooled by the twin receivers and a man on the slot on the near side. They covered the right side very well.
So again, back to receive. Letourneau and Christian Powers as the Eddies set to punt. And they'll do so from their 18-yard line. Decent snap. Kick is up, and once again, it won't reach the Lawrence bagman, but it does on a bounce. Right into the hands of Letourneau. Letourneau breaks a tackle and taken down to the 50-yard line as he stumbled over Edward Little's Steve Bang, who took him to the ground. Excellent field position for the Bulldogs at midfield.
Yeah, Steve Bang, number 51, just got enough of his hand in there. And here it is again, fighting off the tackle. You're going to see him come in here now. Fighting off the block, I should say, and threw his body down to make the tackle.
The Bulldogs 1 first down on their last possession, 2nd possession of the contest here. They started about the same spot where they ended up last possession, right near midfield. Belanger steps up. Again, 2 players back. Dow right behind him. Letourneau and Powers in the backfield. And the handoff, a double handoff, goes to Letourneau. Letourneau breaks through, skips to the 40-yard line, taken down. But he's got 11 yards for a Lawrence Bulldogs first down, and that had the entire EL line moving the wrong way.
Nate Letourneau, 5'11", 170-pound senior. Nice misdirection on the double handoff.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs now. Clock running, 6:04 to go first quarter. They're into EL territory at the Eddies' 39-yard line. Lawrence always a powerhouse the last several years here in Eastern Maine, and EL a recent powerhouse. State semifinalists last year, losing to Skowhegan in the Eastern Finals. 1st and 10 Lawrence. Powers in motion. He gets the handoff right up the middle. Met by the nose tackle, but pulls his way forward. Really shouldn't have gotten anything there, but the strength carries him for a couple of yards.
In on the tackle, number 79, Wade Colin. He's going to get a breather over on the side.
Powers actually got ahead for 3 yards there. The ball The nose of that ball just shy of the 35-yard line. 2nd and 7 coming up now for Lawrence.
Ever since John Hersom has come up from Messalonsky to coach here at Lawrence High School, there's been a rebirth of sorts and pride and certainly in numbers.
Remember those Lawrence teams back around 2000. Many, many fewer students in blue. 2nd down, 7, back to pass Belanger. He looks downfield, has a man. Actually had 2 players overthrew him. He was intending that pass for Nate Letourneau, and a flag in the backfield, perhaps roughing the passer.
That's what it's going to be. And Bobby Belanger may have seen that one coming and let it go a little bit too early, anticipating that there would be roughing the passer. Otherwise, he would have taken the sack.
15 yards, and that'll be a 1st down for the Bulldogs, obviously, and you can't give Lawrence second chances, especially when they're already in enemy territory.
So both teams with a 15-yard penalty assessed.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. On the defense, 15 yards, automatic 1st down.
There's Troy Hill.
It's the ball right at the 20-yard line. The Bulldogs nosing up to the red zone. They scored 61 points last week against the Brewer Witches. Threatening to get on the scoreboard here in the 1st quarter at home. 1st and 10, ball on the 20-yard line. Belanger again. Again, the handoff. Powers trying to cut through a hole, tripped up right near the line of scrimmage, getting a big paw in there. Wade Colin, number 79, a good tackle.
Also Tyler Soucier, number 50, in on it. Here it is again. Tried to high step over that right side right here and got tripped up. Never got that back leg over the line.
That's simply strength by Colin, the defensive tackle, to get one arm on Powers, who was airborne, and just knock him down. Gain of 1. 2nd and 9, 19-yard line. Dearborn wide to the far side. One man. It's Dow behind Belanger. And Belanger fakes the handoff, keeps it. He will throw downfield, and it's going to be caught. Touchdown, Bulldogs! In the corner of the end zone, Mark Yandian yanks that in, and the Bulldogs, on a 19-yard touchdown pass, take the 6-0 lead.
Here's the rollout by the quarterback. And he's got receivers all the way down into the near corner. Kind of a jump shot pass, but Yandian right there for the touchdown.
And what strength on the pass, too, by Belanger to throw that off balance.
Yeah.
Right on target. I'll blow that play dead as Colin in a bit too quickly. Dearborn will get a closer attempt, not that it matters too much. The Bulldogs could perhaps opt to go for 2 as they get half the distance to the goal, and that looks like exactly what head coach John Hersom looks like he wants to do. You'll see. 4:09 to go. The 19-yard touchdown pass has the Bulldogs
On the defense, half the distance. Retry.
drawing first blood.
So what is that, the 1 1/4 yard mark?
And the Bulldogs breaking the huddle here, and they will indeed try for 2. This could be a costly mistake. Put an extra point on the board for the Bulldogs. Conversion attempt upcoming. Here's the handoff into the end zone easily. Is Nate Letourneau, and it's 8-0 Lawrence. Way too easy for the Bulldogs there.
Well, the Bulldogs early showing that they are not afraid to go to their passing game. They're very comfortable with Bobby Belanger throwing the football. They're very deep at quarterback. And that was a nice touch on that touchdown pass to Yandian.
Devin Sherman, who's injured, is an excellent quarterback for the Lawrence Bulldogs. But you're right, they don't lose very much, if anything at all, with 6'2", 185-pound Bobby Belanger, another senior quarterback coming in. He's got a cannon arm. 2 excellent athletes. I mean, I think most teams, or many teams rather, in the state of Maine would love to have one of these quarterbacks. The Bulldogs have a pair of outstanding starters. They both split time last week against the Brewer Witches. So the Bulldogs set to kick it off.
Edward Little already has to be thinking about not letting this game get out of hand early as it did last week against Brewer. They are not a big comeback team, especially since their passing game is down.
Dearborn set to kick it off. The whistle will blow that one dead, so we'll do it again. I think that's half the problem sometimes coming into play here against the Bulldogs. Psychologically, you start to get down early. And the Eddie's down only 8-0 with 4:09 to go. But if you do get down, give up that first score, it's very, very difficult to mentally not think about the floodgates opening because it's happened to so many teams here.
Coach Darren Hart.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Over here.
I didn't see what happened there. That's a bad call on a dead ball. Oh, my goodness.
A tough penalty to take, and I'm sure the coaching staff for the Red Eddies not happy about that. Looking to see if I can see Coach Hartley on the sideline. Didn't
Dead
see what
ball.
happened.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Over here.
They'll be kicking from inside Edward Little territory.
They'll put it
They'll
down
be
the
kicking at the
45-yard
line.
The second week in a row I've seen that. It happened to the Winslow Black Raiders last week on a kickoff. The Gardner freshman kicker put it through the end zone.
Now, it's got to be a little bit too much from one of the coaches, maybe one of the players, but definitely something verbal because the two teams were separated on either side of the field.
And it happened just as the kick was being made by Joshua Dearborn. He's set, standing right at the midfield stripe, the ball on the 45 of the Eddies. So Edward Little looking at a long field here when they receive. Dearborn's ready. Cohen's back set to receive. He's standing right near his goal line. And plenty of noise being made in the near side here by the Bulldog faithful. Dearborn finally set to get underway, and he will boot it downfield. This will be taken on the near side, bobble to the end zone, and that's going to be a touchback. Wisely not trying to do much with that was the junior Cohen. He's just going to pick the ball up, and EL will take it at the 20. That was doomed from the start.
Yeah, initially touched by Cody Childs, and he was in no hurry to go pick it back up. That was the right play there. Get it out to the 20-yard line.
That is where the Eddies will take over, down 8-0 here. A 19-yard touchdown pass from Bobby Belanger to Mark Yandian.
Dan Hartley told the Lewiston Sun-Journal this week that he's not going to make any bones about it. They're going to run the football and let the people up here in Fairfield know that that's what they're going to do.
They've tried a couple of times. Vi and Cohen have both had carries here, and both are in the contest. Going to be Vi up the middle, trying to break it outside. There's no room between the tackles against the Lawrence Bulldogs here in the early going. Vi doesn't get much, maybe a yard.
Yeah, he's still under 10 yards with 6 total carries.
A spot, he got more than I thought he did. Good second effort there by the senior Brandon Vi, a veteran of this EL team. He got 2, maybe even 3. We'll call it second and a short 8 for the Eddies here. An important drive for Edward Little to try to respond to that Lawrence short drive, 50 yards. Here's the handoff to Cohen again. He is driven backwards, drilled by a sea of royal blue. And the Bulldogs push him right back. He might get forward progress, maybe the line of scrimmage, but I think he went back a yard.
Here's a little look at it again, and you'll see the Lawrence Blue stacked up on that side. Good initial stop by 77. That was Jeff Hutchinson, and nowhere to go after that. You know, as long as they run off tackle and don't show anything different, Lawrence is just going to pack the zone. They're going to bring their linebackers right up and on the play.
And they do. They have everybody up. 7 players packing that box. Now spreading things out from the shotgun are the Eddies. DeLong set for the shotgun, high snap, and he takes it down well. Nowhere to throw. He'll run the football, loses it. It's loose. Who's got it? The Eddies do. As a fortunate bounce goes ahead to the Edward Little players. It looks like falling on the football was Darnell Hairston. So EL will maintain possession, but then they'll kick it away.
Actually got a few yards of positive momentum out of that, but it's going to be 4th down anyway.
And no one to throw to for DeLong and really nowhere to run to. And he bobbled the ball, switching hands. So Edward Little once again back to kick it. 2:17 to go in, counting. Kick is up, and it will be Powers. He's dangerous running the football back. Powers turns the corner. He's got some room to the outside. Powers to the 30. Powers to the 20. Powers will score perhaps. He will, but it's not going to count. It's all coming back. There's laundry at the 30-yard line. Big celebration for the Bulldogs faithful, but some have seen the flag and a block being called against the Bulldogs, you would think.
Right in the spot where you'll see a block from behind, and the unfortunate thing about it, as we'll see it happen here, is that it probably wasn't needed. Powers got it on the run. He's got all kinds of room to the right side. All he had to do was keep inside the sideline. There, you saw it, just on the left, a push from behind, just out of our picture. He took it all away, but it's coming back.
A little jersey tug there by one of the Lawrence Bulldogs at the 30-yard line. So Powers, an explosive run, but he won't get credit for that one.
We're going to hold over here, 10 yards from the flag. First down.
Yeah, a hold rather than a push. You're right, Rob. And again, the unfortunate thing was he was almost past the play. He was past the play.
It looked like Powers had his man beat. Yeah. The Bulldogs will start at the 40-yard line despite the penalty. Still excellent field position for Lawrence. You give them a short field, very, very difficult to stop. You really make your lives miserable defensively. But the Eddies have made one stop on the Bulldogs so far in their own territory. We'll see if they can do it again.
You see what Powers could do when he came up and made the catch on that short punt. All that momentum going forward.
Belanger shouting out the signals. Handoff will go to the far side. That's Longstreet. Longstreet tries to turn the corner. Excellent pursuit there by the Edward Little Red Eddies, and Longstreet dragged down near the line of scrimmage. He didn't get anything.
Tried to fend off Corey Spruill, but Spruill got right into his jersey. Here it is here. You'll see Spruill with the pursuit. Won't let him go, and then has help from Colin to take him down.
So a 2nd and 10 coming. A good stop there by the Eddies. And they do have some athleticism on that defense and some speed, too.
That
Lost a lot of players. Sorry, Mike.
I'm sorry, Rob. That was Brandon Vi, 22. Just want to make that quick correction.
And we know he's got some wheels. Vi, the tailback. 2nd and 10 coming now for the Bulldogs. A handoff into the arms of Giggy. Giggy trying to turn the corner, does. He will get close to a first down to the 31-yard line before he was submarined by Luke Farrago of the Eddies.
Here's another look at it. Coming right at you. Good blocking up front, but a good fend off and a tackle by Farrago.
3rd and 2 coming up here for Lawrence. They have really spread the football around offensively. Giggy's got some carries. Longstreet, Letourneau, Powers. Even Curtis Dow's been into the action. Blair Blaisdell hasn't seen much action yet, but he can carry the football too if they give it to him. A lot of options for Coach Hersom and the Bulldogs.
45 seconds to go in the quarter.
And it is Blaisdell directly behind Belanger. 3rd and 2. Here's the handoff. Letourneau trying to turn the corner. He'll go outside. Will he make it? No. Great tackle there. And again, it's Colin coming up to make the stick. It'll be 4th down. The Bulldogs probably will go for it. We'll see if they try to rush the play before the quarter ends.
We're also going to see Alfonso Belnavis, number 25, in on the tackle there, and also help from Colin to finish him off. And the good thing about that was that Edward Little had packed him in. They had 6 guys in the front line.
Well, the Bulldogs want to take the shot at the end zone, or at the first down stripe, rather, this quarter. They have called timeout with 10 seconds left here in the first. And not a move you see happen very often, but Coach Hersom certainly has an idea here. He wants to head in the direction the Bulldogs are facing, going left to right across your screen.
Well, last week, I don't know if you heard the numbers, all those points, over 60 points they scored on 5 of their first 13 plays. So the game was over early.
It was 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. And really the Bulldogs eased into the second, never looked back. EL's battled pretty well. The Bulldogs exploding on that second drive, that 19-yard touchdown pass. And certainly have been the more talented team here in holding on to the football, but the Eddies really battling and digging their heels in. And this is a big play here for Edward Little as we get set to end quarter number 1.
Now, there's so much more to this game, but how fortunate is Lawrence to get the first 2 games at home, one against a team that they just manhandled, and tonight's game against a team that is racked with injuries and, kind of doubting itself coming into this game.
It's tougher later for the Bulldogs, though, as they take on Bangor, Skowhegan, and Lewiston in successive weeks. The cream of the crop in the PTC. But a 4th and 1 coming here. Ball at the 31-yard line. It is Giggy in the backfield. So is Letourneau. Powers there, too. Big defensive stand coming, perhaps. And into the line goes Giggy. First effort didn't make it. Second effort may have carried him over. He spun off the center and went around the guard on the left side. We'll see if he made it.
Mr. Hill says they do.
And that will do it for the first quarter. Once they start the clock, as they set the football, the Bulldogs will certainly not be able to get out of the play-in with 4 seconds left. Curious why you'd call timeout to run that play, to do it then and not at the first play of the second quarter, but Coach Hersom certainly has his reasons. And with his track record here at Lawrence, I'm not going to doubt it. The Bulldogs have the lead after 12 minutes of football. It's 8-0. Back for the second quarter right after this. You're watching high school football on Time Warner Sports.
Look what's waiting for you at home. A world of free HD shows from Time Warner Cable. Escape with The Closer, Lost, and 24. Come home to the home of free HD. See many of your favorite shows and networks in HD at no additional cost with digital cable from Time Warner Cable.
Time Warner Cable has digital video packages starting as low as $29.95 per month.
Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Rob Kennedy, Mike Estrada back in Fairfield. 8-0 our score. The Bulldogs in the lead with the football. And I wonder, though, yes, Darren Hartley, before the game, would you take being down 8-0 after a quarter? I think you'd be relatively happy with that here on Lawrence's turf.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the game plan coming in, hold on to the football, try to establish a running game, and keep the ball out of the Lawrence offense's hands. And 8-0's a nice score after the first quarter.
Eddie's team has certainly come to battle here, and they've done that. The Bulldogs, though, with the football. Just ahead of the 30-yard line in enemy territory. Bobby Belanger, the quarterback, has one touchdown pass already. It's Giggy directly behind him. Giggy jumped, moved, and that will be a penalty. It took him a while to throw the flag, didn't come out of the pocket, but Giggy was guilty. So 5 yards assessed. A little bit of laundry in this contest.
Let's see for
Okay,
Lawrence.
dead ball. Full start. Offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Lawrence 2 penalties for 20 yards. Edward Little 3 penalties for 35 yards. They've had 2 major penalties.
Yeah, roughing the passer penalty against the Eddies and also that unsportsmanlike conduct on the kickoff. So the ball now on the 34-yard line. Set to start quarter number 2. We'll try it again. Belanger, here's the handoff near side. Letourneau runs directly into the arms of Alex Smith, and Smith brings him down after a minimal gain of 2. Second and 13 upcoming for Lawrence.
Letourneau 3 carries for 17 yards. Kristen Powers with 4 carries and about 40 yards unofficially. Had a big run of 24 yards in the first possession.
With the exception of that, the Eddies have done a pretty good job containing the Lawrence runners. A very good job, in fact. You haven't seen Powers break loose except in that punt return. And that, of course, called back. So second and 14 officially. Letourneau just 1 yard in that last carry. Powers back in the contest. He's in the backfield to the near side. Belanger will fake the handoff. Back to pass, plenty of time. Has a man, but it's picked. Intercepted. Taken down by the safety who dropped back. And that's Fred Reed. I think Reed looked surprised. That was thrown directly into his hands. The first turnover of the contest goes to the Eddies.
Right into his hands, about helmet high. Intended receiver did not cut where he thought it was going to go, or he thought he was going to be, and easy interception.
So we'll see if the interception gives the Eddies some life and some momentum here. Football on the 26-yard line.
When you're so surprised by that, you just don't just make the catch, you know. I don't expect it to be thrown right at me.
Out of the shotgun once again. DeLong back there. Here's the handoff. Actually, DeLong's been replaced. That's Vi on the handoff. He'll spin down to the 30-yard line. Now looking to see who that is in the contest now for the Eddies. It is Ken Treadwell was taking the snap, number 8. And he's in the contest now, set to quarterback. So DeLong, don't know if he was injured at all, but he's been sat down or taken away from the quarterback spot.
Yeah.
So Treadwell is a junior. Handed the ball off last time. He's in the shotgun again. Edward Little, 2nd and 8. Down a touchdown here in the second quarter. Treadwell back to pass. They give him some time, a sidearm heave, and that is knocked away. Close defensive play there, coming in to make the deflection for the Lawrence Bulldogs. Dearborn, the intended receiver, Jimmy Foss. Foss thought there was contact, but the referees disagree.
Right on top of him as the ball arrived. It was very, very close, but the official had a best look at it and let it go. Nice defensive play.
Dearborn, I believe, timed that just right, arriving the same time the ball did. So 3rd and 9 here. Treadwell again in the shotgun. 2 wide, twins to the near side, 2 in the backfield for the Eddies. As they're looking to throw the football, abandoning the run here. Treadwell, high snap back to pass, being chased. He'll go back the other way, and that pass is complete. Rumbling down to the 34-yard line was Zach LeBlanc. LeBlanc thought he might have a chance at a first down, but he was tripped up. It'll be a fourth down coming up for the Eddies. The pass gained yards, but not enough.
Here again, second time in a row, he has to collect a high snap, and then they would try to reverse the field to the tight end. Just not a whole lot of acceleration to get upfield. He gets about 5 yards on it, but that's it.
Zach Earl, the punter, back out. And the usual suspects for Lawrence. Christian Powers and Nate Letourneau set to receive. They are just shy of their own 40-yard line, so the Bulldogs expecting good field position once again. You would think they would kick it away from Powers after what he displayed last time. That is indeed the strategy. They'll bounce the football around the 46-yard line. It bounces out of bounds, and right there is where the Lawrence Bulldogs will take over. Better to kick it out of bounds and give away field position than try to let Powers burn you.
Yeah, and no chance to come up and field that one.
The Belanger back out. The Bulldogs' last drive ended with that interception by Fred Reed. Belanger joins the huddle. 9:35 to go here. 8-0 Lawrence, a 19-yard touchdown pass from Belanger to Mark Yandian back in the first quarter.
The 61 points scored by Lawrence last week was the most scored by any high school team in Maine last week.
I think Dirigo had 74, actually. Mike.
Oh, did they? Okay.
That was
Excuse
on Saturday, though. Here's a double handoff to the near side, and a big hole in the offensive line. Breaking through Jesse Longstreet, and Longstreet has a first down. 61 points on Friday, and then Saturday 74 for Dirigo over Saucony Valley, I think, in a Class C game.
Dirigo?
Dirigo scored the 74 and didn't run it up either, from what I heard. It was simply a team that had never played the varsity level yet and had to make some adjustments. Growing pains are very, very difficult at football when you play your first game. The Bulldogs have been on both sides of that in recent years. First down for Lawrence. Here's Powers. He'll try to break through. Nice little cutback to the inside. He's tackled around the 35-yard line. He'll get a gain of 7, perhaps 8. As you open up a hole for Christian Powers, he's going to make great positive yardage and did there.
Yeah, very good in the open field. And, we're seeing a variety of runners for Lawrence early in this game. Longstreet, Powers, Letourneau.
So many various weapons in that backfield for the boys in gray and blue. And then when they don't run it, you've already seen what Belanger can do when he takes to the air.
They get a lot of kids out to play PAL football in the little field that's just down the hill from here, within sight of the big high school field. Must be very inspirational to them.
8:23 and counting to go, second quarter, 8-0 Lawrence. A 2nd and 2 coming up here. The Edward Little 35-yard line. Belanger will go to the air here. He'll go toward Dearborn, and it is almost intercepted, and then almost caught by Dearborn. Colin made the initial deflection. Dearborn almost picked it up off the turf, but it falls to the incompletion. Third down coming.
Now, Colin is a very good coverage man. He sticks to you like he's glue. He's not a very big guy, but step for step and right in your jersey without interfering.
And a great play, too, as he twisted his body around to try to make that interception. And almost had some very tough luck as in coming up with a football. He nearly volleyballed that right to the receiver, Dearborn. But Dearborn couldn't make the catch either.
It's fortunate he's not playing quarterback tonight. I'd love to see what he could do. He's an all-around athlete.
He certainly is. 3rd and 2. A long 2 for the Bulldogs near the 35-yard line of the Eddies. Here's the handoff again to Letourneau. Letourneau's going to have the first down. Didn't make it by much, but it looks like he did make it before being dropped by Steve Bang.
Brandon Vye is also going to get a foot in there. You'll see number 22. Just kind of sweep him. Almost a sweep with his feet. He got up looking like he might have got the call on that. You can't whip your legs like that.
Well, he was in the process of being knocked down, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And hard to control when you're sprawling one way, what you're doing with the legs in the other direction. The Bulldogs have the first down on the Letourneau run. He's still in the contest. 1st and 10 coming for Lawrence. They have had the possession battle won here, and here is Powers. Powers trying to go outside. He'll be tackled. A good tackle again by Fred Reed, who seems to be everywhere around the football here in the second quarter.
Powers with the good average right now. He had a carry of 3 and 1 yards, now with carries of 8 and 7 yards of his last 2 attempts.
Powers certainly had a great year last year, and I knew it would be a good start for him this year. His second carry of the season, or in the preseason rather, against a good Waterville team, just exploded around the right side and no one touched him. It's kind of a good omen for the season. unless you're a different team in the PTC. 2nd and 4, a long 4 coming. Handoff once again goes near side. And once again, that's Letourneau. Letourneau breaking down to the 10-yard line, carrying a player to the 5 before dragged out of bounds. Letourneau gets close. Jimmy Foss saved the touchdown.
19-yard run around left end. And here he is following his blockers very well. He doesn't go all-out speed. He kind of reads what he has here and then takes it to the outside. Gets a nice block there to the 5 or driven out around the 4-yard line.
That was Derek Giggy, 31, on the block, and that was an outstanding block, too, to spring Letourneau. So it has been Powers all the time tonight. Letourneau with some big runs. 1st and 5 for the Bulldogs. 1st and goal, rather, for the Bulldogs from the 5. Fans in blue can feel it. Here's the handoff once again to Dow. Dow toward the end zone. Dragged down, though. He got about halfway. Gain of 3. 2nd and goal from the 2 coming up.
Curtis Dow. First carry for him this evening.
And again, we see the Bulldogs spreading the football, spreading the wealth.
He's 5'11", 160 pounds, and a senior, Curtis Dow.
6:30 and counting. The Bulldogs already with the 8-0 lead. Smelling more here. Giggy directly behind the quarterback. Powers in the backfield, as is Letourneau. Letourneau on the handoff. Letourneau into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawrence. A 2-yard run for Nate Letourneau. And after the run to set things up, he deserved it.
Well, trap block, back to the inside. Hardly touched as he goes across the goal line. 2-yard touchdown run.
After his 19-yarder get inside the 10, fitting to see him end the drive. Dearborn set for the extra point. Snap, bobble. Dearborn might have this, though, as he heads to the corner. Dearborn dives, and he's in! A busted play for the Bulldogs will give him 2 points, and they lead 16-0.
Well, when things are going good for you, they're going good. A lot of room to that far side, and he needed every bit of it.
There aren't many players in this Lawrence team that don't have decent speed. And Dearborn simply looked at the corner flag and went for it. Good play to pick the football up, and everyone rushing the kicker, no one on the outside. It was simply a foot race, and Dearborn won it. So the 2-yard run by Letourneau, 2-point conversion, such as it were, good. And 16-0 Lawrence with 6:13 to go here in the first half. The Bulldogs with the lead here at home.
And a lengthy drive for Coach Hersom, and chance to see a lot of the horses in his stable as far as running back is concerned on that drive.
And Dearborn, who just converted those 2 points, out to set the ball on the tee.
A lot of smiling faces down on this Lawrence side.
Cullen and Reed back to receive. Cullen's the deep man. Hasn't run one back yet, hasn't had the opportunity. Here's a line drive boot. Will Cullen get this? He will. Pick it up near the 20-yard line, try to get a burst of speed, and he is met, stays on his feet, and hit by Letourneau. Letourneau spun him around, and help arrived soon thereafter.
Dakota Marshall and Mark Yandian, 15 and 16 to clean it up.
Yandian, the receiver of that touchdown pass back in the first quarter, getting special teams duty, and the Eddies will start off at the 27-yard line. Bulldogs have had more of the possession and also a better field position to start things off. The Eddies really have been looking at a long field for most of this contest.
Yeah, and almost more than twice as many plays from offense.
Treadwell still in the contest, this time under center, I formation. Receivers to both sides. Here's the handoff. Cullen, no place. Lost yardage there. He was met at the 26. The Bulldogs just simply drove the offensive line directly back.
Yeah, Tevin Cullen, rough going for him. I've got him for nothing larger than a 1-yard gain, as Lawrence is really keying on him.
Now inside the tackles, there has been no place for anybody in white and maroon to go. So second down coming here. The Eddies threw every opportunity last drive, and back in the shotgun again is Treadwell. Treadwell back, drops back, looking downfield to throw. Almost intercepted. That was nearly picked off by Blair Blaisdell. He batted the ball into the air. Intended receiver, looked like it was Cullen there. But Blaisdell had a decent, or more than decent, a great chance for a pick.
Here's Treadwell with a quick snap throw. Tried to drill it into his receiver, and a little bit too high through his arm, through Colin's arms, and almost picked up.
Certainly Treadwell has a cannon. That has some velocity on it.
He had a short arm throw, too. He's throwing from his ear.
Be out of the reach of his halfback turn receiver. Third down coming. In the shotgun once again, Treadwell. To the near side, Henry. Foss to the far side for Edward Little. High snap. Rush is coming, looking way downfield, and that's going to be by everybody. The closest man, once again, Blair Blaisdell, giving the old college try, full extension, but he couldn't come up with that. And 3 and out once again for the Eddies. The Bulldogs will get the ball back.
That time Treadwell kind of sidearmed that thing down the field. But well out of the reach of everybody.
He certainly has some distance with that throw.
They have a little bit of an issue with the center. Snapping that thing a little bit too high, like a lofted snap out of the shotgun.
Zach Earl, the junior, has been a busy man tonight. He's in to punt. And only one man back to receive. I bet you can guess who that is. Mr. Powers. And that punt almost blocked. Kicking that one out of a well was Earl. And that ball is going to take an Edward Little bounce this time and come to rest around the 47-yard line. So the Bulldogs will start on their side of midfield with 5:04 to go and a 2-touchdown lead, 16-0 here in Fairfield.
Somebody got a piece of that ball, as the referee indicated, but not enough to block it.
Earl did a great job not panicking and simply getting that ball away. So heading back out onto the field now, the quarterback, Bobby Belanger. 1 touchdown pass so far, and has really spread the ball around to his running backs. A variety of choices, a real smorgasbord in the backfield for the Lawrence Bulldogs.
6 runners have touched the ball, plus the quarterback.
A little shifting, and the defense pushed one of their players ahead in the football. It looked like that was Wade Cohen pushing a player ahead. The one who went off sides was number 51, Steve Bang, but Bang, it wasn't his fault. He got pushed by our teammate.
And that's a neutral zone violation. Drive coach is crazy before the snap of the ball.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty, first down, 1st and 5.
Not sure if Colin just didn't see his teammate, but he certainly gave him more than a nudge.
4 penalties, 40 yards for Edward Little.
That'll move the ball across midfield. 1st and 5 for the Bulldogs. Same formation. Powers near side. Yandian is the receiver. Here's the handoff once again, and that goes to Giggy. Giggy bulldozes his way ahead. May be close to that first down. Looks like he's just shy. Gain of 4, 2nd and 1 coming up for Lawrence.
Derek Giggy, built like you could expect a fullback to be. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and a junior. Been used in short yardage situations.
Another short yardage situation coming up here. Clock running at 4:38 to go. First half action. 16-0 Lawrence. Powers the man in motion. He gets the football. He'll go far side and slips. Lost his footing. Had some room around that corner. May have fallen forward for the first down. Looks like he is just shy, actually. His knee went down right before the first down marker, so a 3rd and 1 coming, perhaps. We'll measure that first.
Yeah, they're going to bring it over. Just to make sure. I'm right in line with it where I'm sitting, and it looks like it's about half the football too short. We'll see.
I have to agree with you, Mike. We'll see what the official measurement brings. Just about half a football short.
That's right.
It's pretty good eyes from up here, Mike.
Got about an inch short.
I'm not always right. No, he said an inch short, so I wasn't that close.
It's a long inch. Maybe it's the Canadian conversion.
Troy Hill's been an official a long time. Used to play softball with him years ago, and you turn around, and Troy's been a great official for over 20 years.
Well, Mike, you've got credibility as far as calling where the ball's been being spotted for the rest of the season, as far as I'm concerned. The Bulldogs are very makeable 3rd and short here. They have had the bulk of the possession, probably about 2/3 unofficially. Clock runs again, 4:13 and counting. The Bulldogs, 3rd and 1. Belanger calls it out, hands it off to the fullback. There's Giggy again. He's hard to stop on short yardage. Easily gets the first down. He's ahead to the 41-yard line.
And again, when you have a guy like Tyler McKean who's snapping and leading the way for you right over center, that clears out a little path there.
Yeah, that offensive line, very highly regarded. Forrest, Hutchinson, Rowe. Sean Shore's out there as well.
McKeon has been a starter since a sophomore.
And McKeon outstanding. 1st and 10 from the 41 for the Bulldogs. Powers in motion again. They'll give him the handoff. Same play as the one he slipped on. More success there. He'll gain about 6 yards. The ball on the ground, but it came out after the Lawrence senior hit the turf. So that'll be a gain for the Bulldogs and a 2nd and 4.
Well, the Bulldogs are into a rhythm, no doubt about it, in controlling the football and just running it right at him.
And just when you think the Bulldogs are simply going to use the run time and again, it's Belanger dropping back to pass as they did in the first quarter on that touchdown. We'll see what they employ here as the clock running at 3:17 here in the first half. It's been a gutsy effort by Edward Little, but they trail by 2 touchdowns. Belanger will pass here. He will look downfield and almost completed it. A lunging attempt from Mark Yandian just off his hands as he was turned around. Good downfield coverage by Alex Clark, who was there step for step with him, and he made it difficult for Yandian.
Yeah, let's have another look at it right here. Again, great coverage by Edward Little downfield. Belanger with a good throw on target, but just enough defense to upset the play.
That really was a very good throw because there wasn't much room between Yandian and Alex Clark, but a close call there for the Bulldogs. Yandian almost made a very athletic grab. It is 3rd and 4. Ball splits by the 35-yard line. The Bulldogs have been very, very good on 3rd down conversions in this contest. In motion this time is Letourneau. And flags fly. The back judge will make the call here. We'll see what they have. And it's against the Bulldogs. That'll back them up five more. You would think, though, 4-down territory here for Lawrence regardless with the ball on the 40-yard line.
Okay. Dead ball. Delay a game. Offense.
Okay, yep.
Still 3rd down.
Didn't get the play off in time.
Not many mental errors tonight for the Lawrence Bulldogs, but there's one.
They have 3 penalties for 25 yards.
3rd and 9 coming here. We'll see if Belanger tries to throw again. He's got 3 in the backfield. Yandian is the man to the far side. Letourneau in motion. He'll go way around the end, and they will throw. Pressure coming. It's thrown downfield. Intercepted. Colin has it. Going around the far side, Colin has some room. To the 50, to the 40. One man to beat is Belanger, and he has a block. Colin reverses fields, makes a cut, and he's tackled just shy of the end zone. That will energize the traveling fans from Auburn and breathe some life into the EL team. A pick on a deflected pass from Tevin Colin. We talked about his athleticism. You saw it right there.
Let's see, a 57-yard return on an athletic interception. He was in the right spot at the right time, and what a return.
It doesn't even look like he's breathing heavy out there.
He's an athlete.
Impressive run back. The 2nd interception of the game. That one on a tip pass.
And Yandian with a touchdown-saving tackle.
Timeout Edward Little as they have an unexpected situation. I don't think they expected to be starting with a football on the Lawrence 6-yard line before that last play, but that's exactly what they have, and they'll use a timeout here with 2:51 to go. A golden opportunity courtesy of Tevin Colin, the outstanding junior cornerback.
Well, that one, not so much his own coverage, but being in the right place at the right time on that tipped football. And you wonder, does John Hersom kind of like second guess his play calling at that point? When Lawrence was rolling along with the running game, they threw it twice in a row, and the second time it was intercepted in a deep return.
On a 3rd and 10, though, perhaps, the Bulldogs haven't broken many long runs here in this contest.
That's right.
I think he had no choice but to throw the football. And Tevin Colin, Johnny on the spot, right place, right time. And you got to be opportunistic if you're the Eddies here, as they haven't had the football very often and have not had good field position for most of the contest. They have it now.
He ended up running about 100 yards when you consider the whole play. And he got down in the coverage, return that ball.
3 in the backfield now, too, is in the contest again, the punter/running back. And that's Zach Earl. Here's the handoff. It's on the ground, recovered by the Bulldogs. Snap was fumbled, and the Bulldogs dodge a bullet. Nate Letourneau recovers the football. And just like that, heartbreak for Edward Little as they give the ball back.
Now that's the thing you don't want to do. You're down deep in the territory. Got to hold on to the football, and they couldn't.
Talked about being a team that's a little inexperienced and perhaps some nerves right there. As you see, the recovery from Letourneau. So the Bulldogs get the football back, 2:47 to go, still up 2 scores. And whistles from every place. Timeout being called here. I think this is we'll see. Out in the field is the EL coach.
No, if they had enough players on the field.
That's
they
what it
only
was.
Had 10.
Back into the contest now is Cody Meserve, the defensive tackle. And a timeout being called here by Edward Little. Well, that happens sometimes when things switch from offense to defense to offense in rapid succession. Players get confused as to where they're supposed to be, and that time it was the big man, the big junior, Cody Meserve. You look at this Edward Little team, though, as you go down the roster, you see junior, sophomore, junior. Graduated a lot of very good players. Last year, Cody Goddard, the quarterback, Shane Sorrell, an outstanding receiver. The backfield tandem of Buddy Foss and Dylan Terrian. Next year, though, this is a team that is certainly building, and the talent is still there. EL's got a lot of players, good numbers, a lot of underclassmen. They are building to get back to the top of the mountain as they were last year.
And, you know, things do translate from sport to sport. Edward Little was in the state championship in Class A basketball this past winter, so that kind of tradition passes along. I'm sure there are some of the players who played on that team, on this football team.
And one of the best years in the Auburn school's history athletic-wise. They didn't win either of the championships in football or basketball, but made long runs in the postseason in both. Very exciting times down there. I was lucky enough to be broadcasting one of the EL football games in the playoffs last year.
I love watching games at Walton Field.
I do too. Great place.
What a historic place that is.
Classic football. That's right. Old school. Bulldogs with the football. 1st and 10 from their 10. Bulldogs hand it off to Powers. Powers can make 90 yards in a hurry as he turns the corner. Not this time, though. He is knocked out of bounds, but he hits 15 yards around the corner. It's a first down for the Bulldogs, and the clock stops.
See the great speed. It just takes 10 yards to catch up and get in a position to make a run at him. Here he is. Full tilt as he makes the corner. And just one little bump or he's gone.
So 1st and 10 coming. 15 more yards, gained by Christian Powers, the senior back for the Bulldogs, listed at 5'9", 170.
I got him around 75 yards unofficially, first half.
A little tougher sledding this week for Powers than it was against the Witches last week of Brewer. Here's the handoff once again up the middle. It's Powers spinning, but taken down, but another big gainer. Again, it's the man around the football, Fred Reed. Reed makes the tackle, but very close to another first down is Powers. The Bulldogs still with 2 timeouts left. And the clock will stop here as they measure, as Powers very, very close. What do you say on this one, Mike?
I'm a little offline on this one, but I'm going to say it is not a first down.
I think he's close, but I'll go half a length of a football.
Looks like the nose is not quite enough on that chalk. We'll see.
Now Mike is 1 for 1 on calls. We'll see what he has here. 10 more yards for Powers. She's heading toward the century mark, and
oh, it's close.
Very close.
He's got it. Just by the nose. And the chain crew, the unheralded chain crew here at Lawrence.
It's a fun job to be on the sidelines with the chain.
You know, you know, a lot of people make fun of them, but you got to be on top of it.
You got to be quick. You got to be paying attention.
You got to pay attention, and when you're not paying attention and they call for the change and you're not ready, you can be pretty embarrassed.
Not much of a better view of a game, perhaps from where we are. It's a great view, but down on the sidelines is outstanding. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Clock ticking. 2:12 to go. Near side and dragged down by the shirt. Hefty tackle there. Letourneau on the carry. He'll get about 5, but a harsh tackle as the Bulldog is Bulldog to the ground.
Yeah, I believe that was Zach LeBlanc, number 84. Here it comes.
Whoa.
Wham. Hello. Eat some turf.
6-yard gain, but Letourneau made to pay for it. 1:45 to go. Bulldogs with the football on their 40. This time nowhere. Met in the backfield, spun around and down. Letourneau, absolutely not, says Tyler Saucier, the junior, in the backfield to disrupt the play.
All right, you're in that 3rd and long situation here. We've seen Belanger, not a play action fake, just a drop pass. Let's see what he does.
They're not afraid to go downfield. The Bulldogs can score on that deep pass in a hurry. With 1:15 to go, they've shown no intention of trying to stop the clock. They'll run the football again. It's Powers to the outside, has a block from Giggy. Powers tries to turn the corner and does. Powers 50, 40, cuts back to the inside, still with room. Powers trying to spin, and get past the Edward Little players. We have a flag down at the end of that play. Could be a face mask. You would think it would be when the flag came in. Powers another big gainer. And it looks like if the penalty is going to be called against Edward Little, the only man there was Zach Henry to make that tackle.
And it's going to be a hold against Lawrence at the end of this play.
We'll see if we can see it.
Nothing yet. It may have been just before the tackle came in to finish it off there.
And that fumble, the ball came loose. Looked like that would have been a live ball from the time it came out. Perhaps the running back's knee was down.
Okay, we get an illegal block in the back.
Okay.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still going to be a first down and 10.
Nice job by the official. So it turns a 27-yard run into a 17-yard run with the 10-yard penalty.
So the ball at the 48-yard line, 61 ticks of the clock left here in the first half. The Bulldogs up 16-0. They started this drive in their own 10-yard line, and they have made surgical quick work to get down the field. First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Powers once again. Powers in the double handoff, though. We'll give it to Letourneau. He was tripped up coming through the line of scrimmage. Gets ahead for a yard or two, and now the Bulldogs will stop the clock. They'll take their second time out of the half.
Well, you got a couple of options here. We haven't really seen him roll out with an option. I don't know if Lawrence used to do a lot of that in the years gone by, back when Pete Cooper was coaching here. Haven't seen a whole lot of it from John Hersom, but that may be something you try here. A little option, maybe a little play action fake, get a little misdirection, and go to the end zone. He only got 46 seconds.
Still one timeout for the Bulldogs. It will not surprise me much to see Powers around the outside again. If you want to make a lot of yards in a hurry and don't have much time, he could be your man. A 2-yard touchdown run here in the second quarter for Nate Letourneau. And a 19-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter from Bobby Belanger to Mark Yandian. Both two-point conversions good, although the last one, an unintended two-point conversion, a bad snap, but the kicker Joshua Dearborn picked it up and ran it in, and that's where we are, 16-0.
And if you think about, which is the, open side of the field, the ball is pitched just about to the middle of the field, so.
And Dearborn's got a good leg. John Hersom doesn't want to think about doing this, but if they do get low on time, he could attempt booting a field goal, but with 46 ticks of the clock, they are thinking 6. Powers in motion around the outside. The screen pass to him on the far side, and he is tackled, taken down. That was read very nicely by Edward Little Red Eddies. Brandon Vi coming over to finish the tackle after a gain of about 5, and the clock continues to run. Down to 30 seconds here. The Bulldogs with just one timeout left.
Now they'll get a quick one off here, and then they have the timeout.
Ball on the 39-yard line, well out of Dearborn's range if they are thinking 3 at all.
I think he's got to be going in the end zone right here.
No doubt. He'll be back to pass. Belanger, no. It's the double handoff again. Not very much for Letourneau. And now timeout called with 10 seconds left. It'll be a third down, or will it? No, fourth down coming up. So the Bulldogs will have that one shot at the end zone here at the end of this first half.
Now plenty of time for it, 10 seconds. Last time out, Coach Hersom called the 2 running plays. Now you think, unless you're thinking of a big long run back, go to the end zone.
We either go to the end zone or send everybody down there but Christian Powers, hope to spread the field and give him the football on a short screen pass.
Yep.
He's a guy with plenty of room who could really do some damage.
You know how squirrely sometimes football coaches are. You've got a 2-touchdown lead. Why even have the possibility that it could be picked off and run back? Be satisfied with the 2-touchdown lead? Or do you try to take a bigger bite here?
Definitely within Bobby Belanger's range, 38 yards away from the end zone. He'll fire it downfield or dump it off there. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind they're going to go for the 6 points here. Victimized on one long run back, Tevin Colin. Back on the last series, Colin 6 yards shy of pay dirt. Under center, Belanger. Only one receiver deep. We'll see what the Bulldogs do here. Back to pass, everyone coming. The ball deflected, and that'll hit the ground. Is that a fumble? No, incomplete pass. It did look like Belanger's hand was going forward, so that'll be it. The Eddies will actually get the football back, but long, long way from the end zone. They will most likely simply run the football maybe take one shot downfield, but they are well out of range. Even after the long pass from Treadwell, he can't reach the end zone from here.
Here it is again. Okay, so we do not have to review the Tom Brady tuck rule there.
Good.
Clearly the arm was going forward when he was hit.
5 seconds left, 16-0. A lot of people predicted a Lawrence blowout here. The Edward Little Red Eddies up, perhaps not to spoil the party, but they have hung very tough here in this contest. 5 seconds left. Treadwell under center. He will hand the football off. That'll do it for the half as Vi through the line. He'll get about 9 yards. Loses the football. Powers has it. Christian Powers has it. He did this last week, and he will score here. Christian Powers, a touchdown. How did he get the football? I'll need to see the replay, Mike, but Vi must have had the ball high in the air as he went through the line and headed to the ground, and Powers simply robbed him.
44-yard fumble recovery. We've got it here. This is the very end of the run by Vi.
Here's Powers.
He stripped him.
He just took it away.
And comes out of the pack with it. He never touched the ground with his knee, and he's gone. 44 yards for a touchdown.
The kick from Dearborn up and good. What a way to end the first half. And the officials right on that, too, as Vi's forward progress had not been stopped. His knee was not down. Powers never hit the ground. What a defensive play. 2 weeks, 2 fumble recoveries for scores for Christian Powers. And just when you thought the Eddies would only be down 16, it turns into 7 more. The score at the half. Mike and I back to recap it after this. 23-0 Lawrence over Edward Little. Back to recap high school football on Time Warner Cable Sports.
This is not a closed course. This is not a professional driver. This is Roadrunner Turbo with Power Boost, the fastest Roadrunner ever let loose on our advanced fiber network. Put your biggest downloads into overdrive with Power Boost, exclusively from Time Warner Cable.
Add Roadrunner Turbo with Power Boost for just $9.95 more per month. Call today.
Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Rob Kennedy, Mike Estrada back with you in Fairfield. The score reads Lawrence 23 and Edward Little nothing. And really, it doesn't tell the entire story. The Bulldogs and Edward Little Red Eddies, Edward Little keeping it close, 16-0, but really turned around. This game turned on its ear in that long touchdown fumble recovery. But in some ways, the score is indicative because the Bulldogs have had the football most of the time and have by far been the better team despite the heart that Edward Little has shown in hanging very tough over 24 minutes of football.
Yeah, that third touchdown, though, really, really hurts you, the last play of the half. And, you know, Vi was trying to get all he could with the play. You can't really blame a kid for trying to get all he can. But his knee never went down, and you got to give a lot of, credit to Powers for knowing the play wasn't over and not stopping till it was over.
Now wait till you hear the whistle, and he did, and we've got the touchdowns to show you here in the first half. The Bulldogs starting things off, and they do it with the air attack to start it.
Yes, they did, and good running from all their running backs led by Powers. 12 carries, 105 yards unofficially.
Here's the first touchdown, that long pass from quarterback Bobby Belanger to Mark Yandy, and it went 19 yards. The two-point conversion was good. We'll have it here. Actually, it came after a penalty. And the handoff to Letourneau easing in for those 2 points. And that made it 8-0. Letourneau will be the star of the second drive, and he will cap off the scoring with a short run. You'll see it here, a 2-yard touchdown. Looks very, very similar to the two-point conversion. The final score, the last touchdown came in the last play of that half. Christian Powers stealing the football from running back Brandon Vi and returning it 44 yards for the score. Extra point was good. 23-0 Lawrence Bulldogs in command here. And the Eddies really need to get the football back. They don't take it out of the break and come out and make a stop and get themselves back into the contest. They've had a chance to score, weren't able to do it. We'll see what they can do in half number 2. Mike and I will be back for the second half right after this. It's high school football on Time Warner Cable Sports.
Searsburg Sanders got himself a grandson.
Oh, he's cute.
Cute? I'll show him cute.
Surprise, surprise. Gus Morgan's jealous.
Oh, please.
That's the best you got.
Old rivalries can now be waged 100 times faster with Time Warner Cable.
Send him Halloween.
Yeah.
Get speeds up to 8 megabits per second for only $29.95 per month for 6 months.
It's powerful stuff.
Underway in the second half, the Lawrence Bulldogs receiving the Earl kickoff and taking it back to the 40-yard line, or very close to it, is Jesse Longstreet, the 5'8", 150-pound senior. And the Lawrence Bulldogs with the football for the first time here in the second half. And the Edward Little Red Eddie is really important here that they get a stop in this first drive. They want to get themselves any chance of clawing back into the contest.
Yeah, and I did see Tevin Cohen taking some snaps during the halftime warm-up period, so we'll see whether he goes out and plays some quarterback.
Bulldogs with the football. It's the 39-yard line is where that is marked. Bobby Belanger shared duties last week with Devin Sherman. Sherman being injured against the Brewer Witchers. Belanger has had the football the entire contest. And he has it now. He's going to hand off, though, and that will be Longstreet trying to go around the far side. Colin right there, and you don't get by Colin in the open field. A big loss there for the Bulldogs.
-4 yards. Yeah, you do not shake him. You know, he's if he doesn't have a career as an offensive player, he definitely has a career ahead of him as a defensive corner. He's very good.
Just a junior is Tevin Colin. The Eddies don't list heights and weights on their roster. They do list years, though, and a lot of JR and SO after the names of the players. So Colin will be back next year.
He looks to be about 5'9", maybe, 165 pounds, somewhere in there.
We'll talk about him offensively later. He was throwing the football at halftime. We'll see if he comes in. Handoff once again, and right up the middle goes the fullback. And that is number 31, Derek Giggy. Giggy's had several carries in this contest. He gets the yardage back, lost in the first down play, back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
Here it is again, Giggy, who just carried it a couple times in the first half. Nice 4-yard gain off right tackle. Giggy with 15 yards on 5 carries in the first half. Powers, 12 carries, 105 yards. And total yardage really favored the Lawrence Bulldogs, 203 to 20.
3rd and 10 coming here. The Bulldogs have aired it out in similar situations. Belanger's been picked off twice by the EL defense. Back to pass this time. Fakes, pumps, throws downfield. Has a man! Catching the football is Yandian once again. Got behind the defense. And if he hadn't had to turn around for that catch, he was gone. As it is, a 35-yard gain on the pass play to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, here it is again. Play action, dive, fake dive to the fullback. And all alone, Yandian come back to the football, turn his back to the football, for the football, and that's a big gain, 26 yards, 36 yards.
Hard to beat Fred Reed. Reed just stepped up, and Yandian got behind him. So 1st down and 10, the Bulldogs once again into the Edward Little territory. 25-yard line is where they are. In motion is Letourneau. He has the football, has a block, but the block shed by the Edward Little defense. Stepping up again to help make that tackle is Colin. That drove the Lawrence runner inside. The tackle made after a gain of 5.
Well, we were talking before this half started about how that late touchdown, as we see this play again, Letourneau around left tackle. How that late touchdown, the very last play of the first half, really made a big difference in the score. That extra touchdown.
16-0, I think the Eddies would have been overjoyed with. 23 stretched things quite a bit. And the Bulldogs looking for more in the early going. Screen pass to the near side that is grabbed down by the Bulldogs. It's Dearborn. Dearborn plunges ahead to around the 8-yard line where he's taken down. That'll be a 1st down for the Bulldogs, and they have 1st and goal.
Here it is, quick pass out to the side. And a 12-yard gain sets them up at the 8-yard line. The Lawrence Bulldogs coming out in full speed in this first possession.
Officially marked the football at the 9-yard line, so the Bulldogs in business, 1st and goal. Powers in the contest, Letourneau in the backfield, so is Derek Giggy. Many options for Belanger, the quarterback for the Bulldogs. There's Powers in motion. He gets the football through a big hole in the line. Touchdown. Christian Powers made it look easy. His first offensive score of the contest, and that makes it 29-0 Lawrence.
And they did it in just 6 plays. Here it is again. It's the trap block off right tackle. Cuts back inside. Beautiful. He could drive a truck through that.
Oh.
And an easy touchdown for number 33.
Textbook.
Christian Powers.
Extra point attempt is up and off the upright, off the crossbar. No good. So something had to go wrong finally for the Bulldogs, and there it was. The extra point missed by Dearborn. And the score remains 29-0 Lawrence. We talked about how important it was for Edward Little to come out and make a stop, and the Bulldogs just drove it right down their throat, made that drive look extremely simplistic.
Yeah, they did. There's a flag on this play. Looks like they're talking to Edward Little.
Now Nate Letourneau's pointing the other way. Is this going to be on the Eddies? If so, they'll get to kick it again. And that would be the second time the Bulldogs will have had a second opportunity, if so, but we'll see.
Well, John Hersom, if it's going his way, may want to try to rush for 2 points here rather than kick for 1.
He did that last time. We'll see what the call is now.
A personal foul over here.
Unbelievable.
That's their third personal foul.
It only cost them 1.5 yards, or 1.25 yards to be exact. But it gives the Bulldogs a chance to put more points on the board. I didn't see it. I looked away after the kick was missed. I was following the football as it deflected off the left upright and then off the crossbar. Happened away from the play, away from the ball, obviously.
Now, when these kind of things happen, and we've seen a couple of a dead ball situation, personal fouls called in Edward Little. It's
personal foul, hurdling on the defense.
Hurdling,
Half
there
the
you
distance,
go.
We're going to retry.
That's a personal foul, huh?
Would have to see it to understand it. But the Bulldogs will try the kick again. Dearborn this time set up for a second attempt at this extra point. Coach Hersom opts not to go for 2. Snap down, kick up. And this time he makes absolutely no mistake. So the second chance will get a point on the board. It's 30-0 Bulldogs. So even when things go wrong, they turn out okay for Lawrence.
Well, when's the last time you saw a hurdling call, Bob?
I don't think I've ever seen hurdling called.
I mean, the track is right down there if you want to, go do some hurdling.
Had a big meet here today, in fact. There was no hurdling going on, being cross-country season. But hopefully that's not a omen or an omen for things to come here in the second half as far as a strange call. A very easy first drive for the Bulldogs. We'll see, I guess, if Colin comes in to throw the football. He had a shoulder injury. So we'll see if he comes off the bench to throw. They had used 2 quarterbacks the Eddies have in this contest. Josh DeLong started the contest. He was taken out in the second quarter. Ken Treadwell has come in, gone mostly out of the shotgun.
Bobby Belanger, his counterpart, in the first half, 3 for 10, 27 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Has already thrown for 48 yards in this second half.
Alex Leathers waiting in the wings. Got some action against Brewer last week. We'll see if he comes in this contest. Dearborn's kick to Colin downfield, received at the 20-yard line. Colin's going to go outside, try to turn the corner, and does.
Out.
One-man beat, it's the kicker. He'll make a cut, and just taken down. A nice tackle with one arm by Joshua Dearborn. And a flag down at the end of that play. But again, we see the impressive athleticism of Tevin Colin.
Here it is again. Watch the speed. Cuts to the outside, and it looks like this point that he's going to go all the way, but Dearborn with a nice tackle there. And a push from behind. It may have been a late hit. I'm not really sure.
It is going against the Bulldogs. They're already backing up.
It looked like the momentum of the play was still going on. This will be an unfortunate call against them. We'll see.
We got a personal foul, late hit.
Yeah,
over here.
Tough call.
15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, that's a tough call. It looked like the flow of the play was still going on, but you got to avoid the contact, and they got whistled for it.
So outstanding field position again now for the Eddies. They had a 1st and goal earlier in the contest. From the 6-yard line, fumbled on the play. We'll see if they can make some change out of this. Down 30 points, 9:25 to go here, second half action here in the third quarter. Under center now is Colin. He'll hand the football off. It's Vi stutters through the offensive line. He'll get up to the 21-yard line. So we saw him warming up, and he has actually come into the contest now to hand the football off, perhaps throw it. We'll see if the offense can get going a little bit more fortuitously under Tevin Colin.
Yeah, and actually when he gets up under the center, you have to worry now about the quarterback keeper. He probably is pretty good at faking it and taking it out of there himself. He's an all-around athlete, good player.
Not sure how many snaps he's received. I was talking to Frank Stetson from the Edward Little radio broadcast, and he said that Treadwell hadn't taken many in the week. DeLong had gotten the bulk of them, so I'm not sure how many Colin would have had being hurt. 3 men in the backfield for Colin. 1 man split out wide to the near side. It's Jimmy Foss. Colin will hand the ball to Vi again. Vi runs into a wall, tries to spin away, but buried near that offensive line, coming up from the cornerback position, or rather linebacker position, Derek Giggy to make the stop.
Tried to turn away and reverse his field and nothing doing.
Usually once forward progress is stopped against the Bulldogs, the play will end as well. Spinning away without that momentum many times, most times, the Bulldogs just too quick to the football. They swarm well.
Yeah, they did. 2 years ago, everybody remarked about how they would get 7 or 8 guys in on every tackle, and we're seeing some of that here tonight.
And that state championship team back in 2006 really showed Gorham about speed in the Pine Tree Conference. A heavily favored Rams team. Cohen will keep the football here. Fakes goes up the middle, close to a first down. We'll see if he has it in the last dive. Giggy again taking the quarterback down. And I think he's got it. He does. First down.
Well, here it is again. This is what you got to watch out for with his speed. If you're the linebacker, you got to make sure right up the gut is covered.
So a first down for the Eddies here under the stewardship of Tevin Cohen, the junior quarterback. Was reported to be the starter going into the season.
Big assignment for Garrett Holt, the linebacker in the middle for Lawrence.
Cohen out of the shotgun now. And a timeout call. The Eddies want to take a break and think this one over. They will burn their first timeout here of the second half. 7:32 to go here. Third quarter action, 30-0 Lawrence. In a game that has been, for the most part, until very recently, much closer than this 30-point score. Always gets good hosting here at the Pete Cooper Stadium at Fairfield. Morris Auto Body. Directly behind the stadium. Always gracious in letting us park the Time Warner truck.
Yes.
In optimum position to broadcast this contest. So we'd certainly like to thank them.
Yes, Morris Auto Body, the announcers and reporters' best friend here behind the stadium. Thanks a lot.
A lot easier to lug that from the Morris Auto Body parking lot, all the equipment, than from the Lawrence High School parking lot, about 150 yards away.
Yes.
A good 9-iron from here.
Maybe for you.
Now for me, it's a driver.
I'm not too good with the 9-iron.
I'm not too good with a golf club. Let's just swat flies. Shotgun formation again. Cohen, 2 in the backfield, by right next to him. Snap up over his head. Cohen better find this. Good bounce. He gets the football, will run forward, and flag comes flying in. We'll see what the call is. He was surrounded by blue shirts.
Yeah, this is a place where you get a face mask to somebody trying to get a hold of him.
And it's a legal block this time against the Eddies.
Yeah. Here it is again.
You'll probably see the block here. Watch 83.
Can't see it there. It was to the right as we see it, to the right of the screen.
The referee won't mention the number, which I do think is wise of them. They always answer the coaches if the coaches ask which one, but especially referees who know they're mic'd up, which ours does tonight, is not going to name the guilty party here.
Penalties were quite a part of this first half. Both teams with some.
Okay, we got a block in the back. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Replay first down.
Everett Little, 4 penalties, 40 yards in the first half. Lawrence, 4 penalties, 35 yards in the first half.
The play lost yardage to begin with, and then it moves 10 yards back. It looks like a 2nd and 23 coming up. The ball set in the 31-yard line. 1st and 23 is what it is. Shotgun formation again for Tevin Cohen. High snap again. It's juggled. It's off his shoulder. He'll just fall on this, but it's still loose. Dog pile on the field. The Bulldogs say they have it. Do they? Wait for the indication. Yes, they do. Another turnover in the offensive half of the field hurts the Eddies, and the Bulldogs with the football back.
Well, we saw that coming in the first half with the high snaps. Here's another one right here. He's in the shotgun, and they don't get it done with a clean snap, and ball bounced around quite a bit, and it's a wrestling match right there. Lawrence comes up with it.
Very hard not to have your heart go to your throats when that ball is bouncing around. You know that rush is coming. The recovery made by Chase Belanger, the 6'3", 210-pound senior. Wears number 86 for the boys in blue. Bulldogs with the football. The Eddies just getting the 11th man back on the field. The pass out into the flat, taken down by Dearborn. Dearborn knocked out of bounds near midfield. Short of the first down. It'll be a 2nd and 9 coming up here.
Belanger 3 for 3 opening this second half. You know, just underscores the importance of the center, especially in a shotgun position. You gotta hike that ball clean, and you don't notice it until somebody does it wrong.
I think Darren Hartley over in the Edward Little High School sidelines has got a pretty good lesson plan for this coming week of practice. He'll work on the snaps from the shotgun formation quite a bit because it can be a very effective weapon for this Eddie's team. Second down for the Bulldogs. In motion, Powers, he'll take the handoff, big hole on the near side, boom, explosion to the 35-30, 25-20, Powers may make it all the way, and he will, touchdown, Christian Powers.
50 yards on the button for the touchdown, and you said it, quick acceleration, and that was a fast run up the right sideline for 6.
Powers and the Bulldogs erasing any doubt here early in the second half.
Here it is, little stutter step, and then right to the accelerator. Look at this.
Did anyone even get a hand on him? I don't think so. I think he's untouched.
Yeah, he knew as he got to the 15 he was going to make it.
Extra point attempt is up, and it sails through once again. So with 6:13 to go, the Bulldogs put 2 very quick scores on the board. 2 touchdowns in 5 minutes and 37 seconds, and they have put the hammer down to EL here tonight in the second half. They've blown this game wide open. It really turned on that Christian Powers fumble recovery at the end of the half. Powers picked up where he left off here in the second half. He's got both touchdowns.
And that poor snap that led to the fumble recovery. They've got a couple of those here tonight.
I think in the recent going, Mike, you see the difference between a team that is a potential power, a perennial powerhouse against one that is coming into a rebuilding year with some young and experienced players. The talent there, it's the execution that simply needs polish and work. You can see it coming for the Eddies, but it's not going to come tonight against Lawrence here at Keyes Field.
Well, it sure is nice for the Bulldogs to have what's looked like it's going to be 2 very easy games to start the year.
Kick is bobbled by Cody Childs. Childs will pick it up, try to go out to the far side, and taken down by the special teams units of the Bulldogs near the 20-yard line. And again, one other difference in this game, a major difference that has played a role in the score, is just the starting field position for both teams. The Bulldogs starting very, very close to midfield most of the time, and the long field in this contest for Edward Little as they start once again fairly deep in their own zone. The 22-yard line is where they have the ball spotted.
Yeah, the one thing is to see the Lawrence offense running up as they have, but they have limited the Red Eddie offense on their own. Their defense just 20 yards in that first half.
See if they line up the shotgun formation again. Still in at quarterback is Tevin Cohen, the third signal call over the contest here for the Eddies. Good snap this time. They'll hand it off to Vi. Vi nowhere to go on the left side. Goes to the right side. Fumble! Ball on the ground, and the Bulldogs have it again. I don't believe so. It looks like the Eddies have fallen on this one, and that time Johnny on the spot for the Edward Little Red Eddies is Alex Lee, the tackle on that right side. He makes the recovery.
Play was slow and developing, and that gives the right side defensively of Lawrence even more time to get into the backfield, and they cleaned it up.
A 2-yard gain right there, though, for the Eddies. 5:20 to go, clock ticking here, 37-0. You see the score. Bulldogs ahead and a timeout called. And Edward Little had a personnel issue. They were sending players on and off, and Darren Hartley burns timeout number 2 here in the second half as he gets things straightened out on his team's huddle, or in his team's huddle. And right now, this is basically going to be a learning experience now. It's almost like practice time. You want to work on things. Down 37-0. There's no way back in this contest for the Eddies. Now it's a time just to work on execution.
That's right. Kind of stabilize yourself if you can do that. You wonder if there's going to be, a change in the guard in the PTC this year. We saw in the first game last week at this taping, Skowhegan was handled pretty easily by the Bangor Rams. Are the Rams back?
I think they are. And that's Joe Saccariccia last year. You saw his development as a quarterback as the season went on. Into the playoffs, too. No one wanted to face Bangor. They were a very tough opponent in the postseason. I think this team is definitely back. Lawrence hasn't gone anyplace. It's a very deep PTC.
It is.
I think there's 6 or 7 teams really that are quality teams. It doesn't drop off nearly as much between the upper echelon and the second tier. Talk more about that as the game goes on. Edward Little, one of those teams that's going to try to claw their way into the second tier this year. Shotgun formation again. Snap right on target. Cologne to the near side. This play snipped out well, but a decent little cutback by the recipient of that pass. That's number 81, Gage Clevitt, first carry of the game. He tried to juke and jive past Dakota Marshall. Marshall read the fake well.
And Colin with his first pass attempt of this half. He has a a rotator cuff injury. It's not torn, but it is strained, so you can imagine that's got to hurt with every release of the football.
Probably limits the ability to throw far downfield as well.
Yeah, in practice, he was only throwing 10 or 15 yards.
Screen passes, passes in the flat. You'll see that a lot from the shotgun formation. Coleman also a threat to keep it. He's done that once. Shotgun again. Vi on the handoff. Vi up the middle, finds some room. He'll cross the 25-yard line up to the 27. Shy of the first down. That will bring up about a 3rd and 5 upcoming. Maybe a little longer than that, depends where they spot the football. And I've lost my down count. It's 4th down right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bulldogs are bringing in their run back package here. That's all right.
Powers in to run the football back. He's still out there on special teams. Nate Letourneau out there with him. You have to wonder at this point. I don't think you'll see much of the starting unit for the Bulldogs in the 4th quarter, but they might get one more series here. Again, they're practicing for further down into the season, too. These guys need some reps. Here's the punt. They will punt it away from Powers. It'll take a bounce, and he'll get a chance to field this near the 40-yard line. Powers takes off to the 40-45, down to the 40-yard line as he crossed midfield. Finally taken down there. Another excellent spot for the Bulldogs. They get great field position once again, but there is some laundry in the near side of the field. We'll see what the call is.
Yeah, way away from the play.
Perhaps a player got hands in the face of his enemy combatant in the block on the way downfield.
And referee Troy Hill's got it. It's another face mask.
This time going against EL, though. Face mask on the kicking team, somewhat of a rarity.
That's their 3rd penalty and 40 yards total. They've given up 80 yards in penalties.
Yeah, we got a 5-yard face mask.
Oh, excuse me,
over
5
here.
yards.
End of the run. First down.
It was the end of the run, not during the run back, but it was done by a player who was miles away from Christian Powers. Well away from the play.
So take down those numbers, 70 yards in penalties for them.
Alex Leathers is coming in the contest. We said we might see him now. Very talented, 6'2", 160-pound sophomore. Very highly regarded as the underclassman. And he is set to take some snaps here as Belanger looks like his day is done, and why not? Leathers in the ball game, out to handle his first snap. Ball handed off right up the gut. The Bulldogs will run right off tackle. Also in the contest, Jesse Longstreet and Blair Blaisdell getting his first carry here of the second half. He'll gain 5 yards.
Leathers is a big kid, 6'2", 160 pounds, and a sophomore.
Sean Carroll into the game, number 32. So I wondered if they would wait until the end of the 4th quarter to start making liberal substitutions, but John Hersom has seen enough of his starters, wants to get the second unit some playing time here. So Leathers under center. It's Longstreet in the backfield, and Carroll out to the near side. Man in motion, they'll hand the football off. That's Curtis Dow. Dow cuts back inside. He had a touchdown last week in a similar run. Not this time, though, as he is taken down. A good stop there made by Fred Reed, the cornerback, but that's a first down for the Bulldogs. And he is up to the 22-yard line.
Here it is again, Curtis Dow. A few times we've seen him tonight. Nice cut back over the line. And a nice game.
Nice low tackle there, too, by Fred Reed, the senior cornerback. You wouldn't know the quarterback, Leathers, is a sophomore by looking at him. Big kid. The textbook quarterback build.
Yeah.
Longstreet, Garrett Holt in the game as well. Longstreet's right behind. Here's the handoff to Carroll. Carroll with his first carry. He might go to the hole as he splits the tacklers, and he's down to the 5-yard line. Lost the football, but gets it back. He was down anyway. So a very good debut carry for Sean Carroll as he gets down inside the 5-yard line.
Sean Carroll's 5'8", 140 pounds, another sophomore. And it's a pretty big horse stall for the running backs.
Quite the stable, you're right.
That's right.
Leathers in the quarterback. Longstreet, Giggy, Powers, Letourneau, Blaisdell, Dow, Carroll. 7 ball carriers so far. I might have missed somebody. Derek Giggy, too. That would make 8.
Yep, that's 8.
New center in the contest now is Josh Perry. He's a sophomore. Scary how good this Lawrence team is as far as the underclassmen as well. Quite a feeder program, as you mentioned earlier, Mike. Back to pass Leathers. He'll hand the ball off. Carroll, no one picked him up. He's in a foot race for the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. But a flag on the play may negate this. We'll see who the call is going to be on.
Yeah, it's a hold, preliminary indication against Lawrence.
So Carroll will be brought back. His run, rather, will be brought back. His 2 flags down. Both officials got that. We'll see if we can see the illegal block.
It's a run to the left side. And trailing the play, you can't see it there, but the flag thrown in, you can see at the very end of it.
And the flag came around the same time that Carroll went into the end zone.
Here's Troy Hill to tell us about it.
Okay, we got a block in the back on the offense. 10 yards from the flag. Replay first down.
1:26 to go. Third quarter, 37-0. 2 touchdowns here in the third quarter, both by Christian Powers. He's had the last 3 for the Bulldogs, 1 on the defensive side of the football and a couple of runs. 1 explosive long gainer for 50 yards and a 9-yard run to open the scoring here in the third quarter.
And the crowd here at the stadium is more like a Lawrence crowd, 4 or 5 deep along the sidelines.
And liking what they're seeing so far tonight. It's what they've gotten used to here in Fairfield. Hand off to the near side. It's Dow once again. Dow taken down by the toe. It's Colin. Good tackle there as Dow tried to turn the corner and Colin would have none of it.
Yeah, he's a good tackler. Here he tries to make the right corner, and you're going to see number 7 shoot right up. There it goes, and a ankle tackle. Nicely done.
Yeah, 1 arm on the carrier, too. That's a lot of strength. What I like to see, too, is a team down 37-0. You've got guys who played every down in a contest. Not 1 sign of fatigue, not 1 sign of quits out of Tevin Colin.
Nope.
An admirable trait in this Eddie's team. There's been several things to admire about them despite the score. Lots to be impressed with, of course, with the Bulldogs. Here's the handoff to Sean Carroll again. Carroll trying to battle 4 Red Eddies. He runs right into the crowd. They'll drive him right back. Luke Farrago leading the charge and a host of others also there. Jimmy Foss, the defensive end.
Yeah, when you see a score like this, you think, well, the organization of the team is lacking and, they just don't have it together. You can't say that about Edward Little. They have executed. They just haven't executed well.
15 seconds left. Will the Bulldogs run another play here in the third quarter? They may not. They look like they're not going to. No hurry to get to the football. 7 seconds left, and that looks like that will be it. So the score at the end of the third quarter break, the Lawrence Bulldogs 37, the Edward Little Red Eddies nothing. Mike and I back for fourth quarter action in Fairfield. It's high school football. Time Warner, Cable Sports.
We got time. We got time to show you a package of highlights of a whole game. We're going to tell you, who scored it, how it happened, break it down.
Here's a long bomb by Gardner.
Here's a great goal by Mark Mancari.
And when you mix in the callers who call with their own unique perspective.
But I love going Eagles this weekend. I think they're going to win big. And
that's another great angle of the show. Nobody else in the state of Maine is doing what we're doing.
Back with you in Fairfield. Pete Cooper Stadium, Keyes Field. Great place to see a game. Tonight, no exception. Beautiful football weather. And the blue and gray clad crowd here on the near side very happy and impressed with the score, 37-0. They've seen the boys in blue do a number on Edward Little. Close early. Edward Little still hanging tough, but too much Christian Powers here in the late first half and all of the second half. The Bulldogs looking for more. Still on the sidelines with the third down, rather.
And
the ball on the 10-yard line. Sorry, Mike.
I'm sorry, but their big win last week over Brewer. Lawrence is near the 100-point mark in the first 2 games of the year total.
98 to be exact.
Yep.
One more will put them over the century mark for 2 games, and we'll see what Dirigo can do this week. The other one's close. Leathers rolling onto the near side. Leathers will keep it, heading to the goal line. Submarine there, taken down. Nice tackle made by number 10, Alex Clark, the senior cornerback, stepping up to make the tackle, and 4th and goal upcoming here for the Bulldogs.
Well, a running quarterback. That's something that we didn't see Bobby Belanger do a whole lot of.
Yeah, he's not as much likely to run as his counterparts, Devin Sherman. Sherman much more of a threat out of the backfield. Belanger, a more classic drop-back quarterback with a good arm. Not his best night tonight passing. Couple of picks, but still effective, especially in that long touchdown pass to Yandy to open the scoring here. So 4th and 4, 4th and goal to go. Longstreet directly behind his quarterback, Alex Leathers. Here's the handoff, though, to Dow. Dow turns the corner, heads to the end zone. Going to be close as they drag him back, and he did not make it. The Eddies stopped him short, and they'll take over the football. They make the stop inside the 5-yard line and keep Lawrence from going over the century mark here for the season.
Well, there's something to build upon right there. A little goal line stand on 4th down.
The ball right in the 1-yard line, and that's tough sledding now for the Eddies, getting out of the shadow of their own goalpost. They'll spot the football right on the 1-yard line. You see exactly how close Curtis Dow went to that end zone. He's a 5'11", 160-pound senior. And he came close. So Edward Little with a football. It's Colin once again under center this time. No chance of the shotgun as they're backed up to the end zone. Colin might just fall forward. Oh, he'll hand the football off. It's Vi. Vi through the hole, gets a couple of yards. That'll move him ahead to the 3-yard line, give him a touch of breathing room, but still a long way to go. 2nd down and 8 coming up.
And Colin going all the way over to the far side to receive the play. And you're right, he hasn't been off the football field at all.
Not one bit. Every single play in this contest.
Defensive corner on defense and now playing quarterback on offense.
You see what kind of shape these players are in as far as the summer workouts or sometimes the spring workouts. These guys going year-round and how hard they work, because it looked like early on that Colin hadn't even been winded by his effort here tonight. And by effort, I mean his participation in the game. He has tried hard. You see it right there as he rolls around at the end of that play.
Yep.
He has worked his tail off, but again, just the kind of phenomenal shape these athletes are in. I think football players, especially linemen, get a bad rap of being just a bunch of big guys who can't run, but not anymore. Maybe that's the way it was 30 years ago, but not now.
No. They're helping him a little bit by sending him the play, so he doesn't have to go all the way over to the far side to get the play. There's a guy meeting him about halfway, so that's saving him a few steps.
So 2 yards for Vi, 2 yards for Colin. 3rd and 6 coming up. Shotgun time now for the Eddies. He'll direct traffic and send Henry out to the near side. Actually, excuse me, that's number 10, Alex Clark. Clark's on the near side. Good snap this time. They will hand off. It's Vi once again. Vi's got some room, and he'll get to the 25, still on his feet, taken down near the 30-yard line. And there's that explosive running from Brandon Vi. He saw plenty of playing time in that very good Edward Little team last year.
And that's by far their biggest run from scrimmage, 27 yards. Here's another look at it. He cuts back after going off the left side and ends up with a nice gain out to about the 40-yard line.
Outstanding blocking
right there. 30-yard line.
By the offensive line of the Red Eddies at the beginning of that run when he made the cutback and reversed his field. Nobody in blue anywhere near him. A huge hole open up for Brandon Vi. Shotgun once again for Colin. Edward Little started the drive on the 1-yard line. The snap goes through the hands of Colin. He picks it up well, though. Trying to go to the far side, make something out of nothing. It's a tall order against this Lawrence defense, and he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Josh Perry, the sophomore, 6 foot, 220-pound defensive tackle, in the end of that tackle, and a host of others.
That was a great play just to go back and get that football and try to do something with it. You know, he's such a good athlete from what we've seen. You know, he could be used in a number of positions in that backfield. You like to see him run an option.
Clock stopped at 8:44 as timeout called. Looks like by the Bulldogs this time. Or was it? No, I think burned their 3rd timeout. 37-0. We were talking about the Pine Tree Conference, Mike, and the depth of the conference. Big game tonight down in Augusta, too, that'll really kind of see exactly who's where in the 2nd tier. Coney, which has really improved themselves the last couple of years. Some excellent skill players, and Dunkley and I'm drawing a blank.
Isn't it about time that Coney, makes some hay in football? It's just been long, that they've been a patsy in this league. And it's time for Coney football to make some noise.
Nick Dunkley and Lucas was the name of the player that I was, Nick Lucas was the one that I was trying to think of. 2 excellent players, great athletes. And they play Messalonsky tonight. They knocked off Gardner in a preseason game. I know it's just preseason, but that's one of those games that, despite it not counting per se, that to the players, that one counts.
Oh, sure it does.
They went and beat Mount Ararat to start the season off as well. So
Gardner went up and beat Winslow in the first game. Winslow's down this year, but still beat them on their field.
It's in PTCB. They play Morse tonight at Hoke Field. That'll be a good game. Eddie's running the football once again. It's a very busy man in Brandon Vi. Not quite so far that time. He'll get a yard, maybe 2, and a 3rd and 12 coming up. They'll mark it actually 3rd and 11 coming up now for the Eddies. And another game, too. No one's really talking about Brunswick, the Dragons, with this victory over Edward Little last week. They play Skowhegan tonight.
Yeah, that is a big game. Both teams coming at it from different directions after the first week, but
that one just up the road, up 201 tonight, up in Skowhegan. Indians opening up at home, or their home opener, rather. They opened up on the road. Third down coming, pitch to the far side. That goes to Vi again. Vi turns the corner a little bit, and a flag comes in at the end of the play as they're trying to keep tempers under control. We'll see who that one's going to be on. As closest man to that flag was Dakota Marshall of the Lawrence Bulldogs.
And Vi's getting a little bit of rhythm. He's got 9 carries unofficially for 33 yards in the second half.
We'll wait for the call for the official. Here he comes, set to inform us.
Personal foul.
And that time it was against the Edward Little player who got mixed up with Dakota Marshall. That'll take 15 more yards off, and frustration on the sideline as Coach Hartley discussing that last play with Tevin Colin.
Yeah, and it's, it's not that it's ever excusable, these big fouls, but it is still
We
early
got a
in the
personal
year.
foul on the offense, 15 yards, replay third down.
Third down coming again. Referee is keeping a very tight handle on this contest.
Yeah, they've done a good job tonight.
That's the 4th personal foul, I think, in this game.
Yes, it is.
3rd and 20 officially on the scoreboard. It is a chance to convert once again, but they're a long way from moving the sticks. Colin out of the shotgun.
You notice he hasn't attempted a long pass at all. He's attempted 1 pass, went for 2 yards.
That shoulder's still not 100%. Now
No.
he steps up. I formation now. Receivers to each side. Back, he'll throw this time. He will throw downfield. Good arm, too, and he has a receiver, and it's through the hands of his intended target. He had the man downfield, Gage Clavitt. Maybe too much space there for Clavitt, too much time to think about it.
And we set him up so well by talking about his arm. And he almost nailed one for a touchdown there. Here it is again. Just simply dropped by the receiver. Look at this, right there.
Well, spot on. Clavitt's going to be seeing that one tonight in his sleep. Feel bad for a play like that.
Maybe he was surprised that Colin got it out to him.
Maybe. Just a sophomore, Gage Clavitt. Plenty of time to build from that drop. So close once again. And again, the evidence, little things plaguing Edward Little. Fumble here and a drop there. Punt is away into the contest mark. Addison set to receive this, and he will let it bounce, but it's in bounds. He's going to have to fall on this as he touched it. Is that a difficult play for the 5'9", 130-pound sophomore to make? Looks like he got a little indecisive trying to first catch the ball. Then when it skidded over him, had to recover quickly to fall on it as it was live ball.
Yep, let the ball play him instead of him playing the ball.
7:18 to go. A new quarterback again, perhaps. Is Addison going to throw the football, or is he into run? He's into run.
Yeah, he's listed as a halfback and a cornerback, so.
And Leather stays in the game as the signal caller. So we'll see our first look at Addison in the backfield. He's the man who just scampered after the football on the punt return.
Christian Powers, in case you haven't heard his name in a while, he has played well tonight. 155 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Out of the game since his recent touchdown. Here's the handoff. It's Sean Carroll. Carroll going on the far side, reverses direction. Nice cutback. We'll find some room, and we'll make something out of nothing here. He'll get across the 45-yard line. Gets around 4 yards and really looked like he was going to be pushed out of bounds after a minimal gain. Good second effort there. And we'll see him make the cutback here on the replay. They had him, they lost him, and a 4-yard gain for Carroll. 5'8", 140 pounds, also a sophomore for this Lawrence Bulldogs team. Clock running, 6:24. The Bulldogs will probably have a steady diet of run plays here, something to keep that clock moving. The game well decided. Really in the last play of that first half. Here's Carroll again. Carroll to the outside. He'll get close to the first down marker. Another second effort there, and he'll get across the 48-yard line of the Eddies. That will be a first down. And they'll move the sticks.
Carroll, 3 carries, 22 yards in limited action.
Back into the contest now for the Bulldogs. Trevor Boissonneau, 5'5", 130-pound sophomore. The future is now for the Lawrence Bulldogs.
And this is so important down the road, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Injuries, depth, it's all very important.
And game experience, too. Talk about players who aren't game experienced.
Whoa,
although there's explosion off the football. Lucas Quimby, a touch too eager. But a nice pancake block he made, the unsuspecting Edward Little defensive tackle.
He's 5'11", 230. You want to be ready for him when he's coming. So if he's off the count,
start,
watch
offense,
out.
5 yards, still first down.
There's nothing false about that start.
That's the brake letting go on the truck downhill right there.
You're going to look at that in game film when the Bulldogs do their film, and I think Quimby's going to enjoy seeing that one again.
Yeah.
It didn't count, but it felt good. 5:40 to go. 1st and 15 now for Lawrence. Leathers under center will make the handoff. Coming back to the near side is the sophomore Mark Addison. Good run by Addison, and he's pile drive down to the ground. Maybe by the face mask there. It looked like perhaps number 75, Kevin St. Pierre, had the hand on the mask. The flag came flying in. I can't think it would be anything else.
Yeah, another personal foul, and here it is again.
And watch 75 here. I think he's the guilty party.
Addison with the run around left end, and here it comes right there. Yep.
It was more of a horse collar tackle, but he did have the other hand wrapped around the face mask going behind the runner.
Yeah.
So 15 more yards, 5th personal foul of the contest.
You just got to keep your hands away from that area. And I know sometimes it's hard to control it, but you got to go lower.
And this refereeing crew out there has been right on top of all of those infractions. You're not going to get away with one on these guys, even late in the contest. So the Bulldogs now with the football on the 22-yard line. It is Longstreet and Addison in the backfield. Also Sean Carroll, who's handled the bulk of the carries here in the 4th quarter. He'll get it again. Carroll cuts back inside or over center. Across the 20 to the 15, down to the 13-yard line. Runs into the scrum there and is knocked backwards.
Sean Carroll Jr., 5'8", 140 pounds, and another talented sophomore. Shifty runner between tackles. Although he's a smaller guy, he's effective among the big tackles.
Don't know offhand what the record for the Lawrence freshman was last year, but I would imagine with the talent we're seeing today, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Entering the contest for the Bulldogs now, Ross Liebert. He's number 26, 5'11", 150. He's a junior.
Freshman football usually plays on Thursdays, if I'm not mistaken. Thursday afternoon glory.
And it's Liebert on the near side. Here's a handoff right up the middle. That's Longstreet again. And Longstreet will cross the 10 down to the 8-yard line, where he is stopped with 4:19 to go. It's a first down, though. They'll stop the clock to reset.
There it is again. It's the trap block. Off left tackle. Holding on to that football with both hands.
Clock running once again at 4:16. The Bulldogs 37-0 up in Edward Little. The Eddies had chances. Actually looked like they were set to claw themselves back down 16-0. 1st and goal at the Lawrence 6-yard line. Fumbled the football. They've lost the football on turnovers both times. They have been deep in Lawrence territory. And again, the sign of inexperience. They'll work on that. It will come. Handoff up the middle again. Longstreet toward the end zone. Touchdown. Jesse Longstreet gets on the scoreboard. 5'8", 150-pound senior. Makes it 43-0 Lawrence.
7-yard touchdown run. Here it is again. Nice cutback over the line. Got a nice block from his center. And into the end zone.
A little too late for Treadwell to wrap him up.
Give an assist to Brendan Hegarty, number 56, with a nice block.
All the unsung heroes in that Lawrence offensive line in both strings, the first and the second. Plenty of depth here for the boys in the gray and the blue. We'll see if they're set to kick this one again. They have had Dearborn kicking the extra points, but I don't think he's in now.
Okay, we got dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense. It's going to be on the kickoff, 15 yards on the kickoff.
Well, now you can start talking a little bit about composure. I mean, there's just been too many of these.
And again, you're not going to get away with one of this officiating crew. In to kick for the Bulldogs. To Kevin Chamberlain, it's up, and what a boot that was. 69 actually, not 68. I have him on my scoreboard. That's Dylan Forrest. Great boot right there. I don't usually see a guy with a double-digit number starting with 6 or 7 who can boot the football like that.
Well, usually at the beginning of the year, if they don't have a kicker, they'll try out anybody no matter what number they wear, and sometimes it is a guy with a 70 or an 80 number.
Well, that would have been good for 35 or 40. That was a blast. It's still rising one over the crossbar. So 44-0. With 3:50 to go, the Bulldogs. Really never any doubt from this one at the end of the first half on. Field position-wise, the Bulldogs have had control of the entire contest, but 16-0 with 5 seconds left in the first half. The game turned on its ear by the Christian Powers fumble recovery. Thieving the football from the running back Brandon Vye and running it back.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And, 16-0, you could talk about that and make believers out of your players to come back, even though Lawrence was decidedly, controlling the play. But when you get that extra touchdown, that's tough.
Demoralizing to know that you're not down by 2 scores anymore. That's what it was for the Eddies. With 5 seconds to go coming into the half, it really was manageable, and the Powers touchdown. It's funny what cosmetics will do. 7 points was all it was, but it seemed like a lifetime. Here's the kickoff into the waiting arms of Edward Little's Luke Farrago. And Farrago will get up to the 27-yard line, and that is it. And physical battles at the end of these plays. Watch the referees get right in position to make sure there just isn't much funny stuff going on. If there is, they've been calling it.
And that's when the job gets tough, at the very end of a one-sided game.
On one hand, you don't want to give up. You don't want to roll over at all, and the Eddies have not done so. On the other hand, as you mentioned just a minute ago, you have to maintain composure.
Looks like we're going to see another quarterback here, Rob.
And it looks like back into the contest is Ken Treadwell.
Yep, Treadwell again, number 8, you're right.
Treadwell played out of the shotgun in the second quarter. DeLong started the game, played most of the first quarter. They ran the football quite a bit. Treadwell out of the shotgun in the second quarter, and Colin has played most of the second half, but Treadwell back in the game with 3:21 to go as they continue the experiments. Here's the handoff, not getting very much though, and a run to that far side. The Eddies just simply have not been able to make any headway against this Lawrence defense. And carry that time by Cody Childs. I believe, Mike, that's his first of the contest.
Yes, it is. First carry for Charles. Brandon Vye got most of their carries tonight. Colin with some runs.
Childs just a sophomore. Getting some game experience here in Fairfield. Treadwell again. Will go under center. I formation, 2 in the backfield. Childs is back there. He is joined there by Bell Navis. Back to pass Treadwell. No one to throw to. He'll launch it downfield. Has a man, and it's almost caught. And off the hands of the Edward Little player. It would have been a tough catch to make as a Lawrence defender was there. But it bounces to the ground. Third down coming up. We'll see it in the replay.
And watch the end of this play when Carroll, who upset the play, thought it was caught and still making a play on him. Watch this. He tackles him. He's not sure whether he caught that or not, just to make sure.
It was Gage Clavitz almost bringing the football in. 2:31 to go. Clock stops the incompletion. 3rd down and 10. Upcoming for EL. Shotgun formation again. Treadwell operated out of this in the second quarter. Good snap this time. Back to pass. Pursuit coming from the far side. Treadwell downfield. That ball is complete. That'll be a first down. Floated right into the breadbasket. A big number 88, Ryan Arnold, the senior. Arnold gathered that ball in. He's close to the 40-yard line. That is an Edward Little first down.
And he's a big dude. Here it is again, and he does rumble after he makes this catch. He shrugs off one tackle like it's a black fly. Watch this. Boom. And then finally gets gang tackled down.
It was Mark Addison who made the final tackle, 5'9", 130 pounds, up against the big senior. Brave tackling there from the sophomore. 2:09 to go and counting. Ball directly on the 40-yard line. Treadwell is out of the shotgun. Hands off to Childs. Childs has a blocker going far side. Around the blocker, runs into the second wave of Lawrence tacklers. They pursued very nicely to the football. Minimal gain there for Childs, just 1 yard. think EL simply wanted to keep the clock ticking here for the most part.
Yeah.
As do the Bulldogs. 1:35 to go. 44-0 our score.
No doubt.
EL has battled valiantly, but no doubt you're right in this contest.
I'm sorry, Rob. No doubt that the Bulldogs will take pride in this shutout as well.
Especially the guys who play mostly just defense. There's a couple on this Bulldogs team. They love seeing the bagel on the scoreboard.
There's a guy lined up in the neutral zone. It's the end on the left side. That's what he's telling him. You got a foot in the neutral zone. That's 5 yards.
That's part of the reason why you get the players into the contest now. Let them make the mistakes in the late going. And actually, it's going to be on the Eddies. I thought you were right, Mike.
Yep.
You get the players in the contest late to give them some game experience. Let them make the mistakes in a blowout game and, quote, garbage time, unquote. Make the mistakes now. You learn for later. A shotgun formation again for Treadwell. This time he'll hand the ball off. It's Childs. Childs going nowhere, but he slipped through that tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage as we're under a minute to go here in Fairfield. And that'll bring up the third down. 3rd and 15 to go for Edward Little. Probably just one more play in the contest. I think that's all the Eddies will need to run. A little confusion for the Bulldogs as sprinting to the sideline, Travis Fortier. He'll get off the field. He'll be joined by Josh Perry. 14's a couple too many, 13 rather for the Bulldogs. Handoff again, Childs, he stumbled and went directly down to the turf. And that may just do it. It's actually number 35 for Edward Little. I don't have a 35 on the roster.
No, you'll see some guys, a couple of Lawrence guys I didn't have numbers for either.
I think that'll do it. 10 seconds left in the contest. The Eddies don't have to run another play. They're counting it down here on the near side, and the Lawrence Bulldogs continue that streak. It's been since 2005 that they've been defeated in the regular season, and it won't happen here tonight. Final score, Lawrence 44, Edward Little nothing. They do pitch the shutout, and an outstanding contest here for Lawrence.
Saw a lot of them. Top to bottom in the running back department, they are very, very talented. And another shutout for the blue and silver.
Now you mentioned how talented the running attack is, 23-0 at the half. And that's when Christian Powers took over here in the second half, a pair of touchdowns. Here's the first one from 9 yards out. You see the replay again, very good blocking in the offensive line. Give him some room, he'll take it. But really the electrifying run coming here, 50 yards for Christian Powers, literally untouched. Mike will take you through it.
Yeah, here it is right here. One of the things he does so well is he doesn't move his upper body. You can't read him from the hips up. It all comes from the hips down, and he's got that tremendous acceleration. Turns the corner, and he's gone.
37-0 was the score at the time. And Jesse Longstreet finished the scoring for the Bulldogs. A short touchdown run. That made the score 44-0, and we'll see it here.
Off tackle run, and he's just going to skip right into the end zone for 6.
And Longstreet, the senior, getting on the scoreboard. Extra point was good, as was drilled through by the big lineman Dylan Forrest. And that was it. The Bulldogs improved to 2-0. The Eddies 0-2. And Lawrence rumbling, continuing as they head toward what they hope will be a repeat trip or a trip back to the Class A finals representing Eastern Maine. A long way to go in the season and some difficult opponents to go through, but the Bulldogs certainly looked impressive tonight.
Yeah, they did. Over the first 2 weeks, they score over 100 points in 2 home games on their home field, go 2-0, and looking rosy red, even though they're blue and silver. The Bulldogs are 2-0.
I want to thank the always outstanding Time Warner crew tonight, the boys in the truck, the camera work on the field, great as always. And, of course, Gomez up here with the high cam up in the booth. I have to thank him. He's within punching distance. Mike Estrada is not, but I'll thank him as well. Always fun working with you, Mike.
Great job tonight, Rob. Good working with you.
Final score tonight from Fairfield, Lawrence 44, Edward Little nothing. My name is Rob Kennedy saying good night. High school football has been presented on Time Warner Cable Sports.